Cortland looking to break out here, but they're having a lot of trouble getting out of their own way right now.
Bonaventure keeping it in. Langlots gets in the way down there in that far corner, but the Bonnies keep it in. 2-on-1 down low, setting up Hughes in towards the net, and he shoots and scores. The Bonnies win it in overtime. They've been tight, physical, intensely contested games with a lot of offense. Bengals trying to get that next bit of offense, and they do. It's John Glasgow with his second of the game. The Bengals take the 5-4 lead with 2:21 to go in the third, and it's John Glasgow getting the go-ahead goal.
Huge goal for the Buffalo State Bengals. John Glasgow, Johnny on the spot. Just turnover in the neutral zone. Bengals gain the zone. Glasgow set up in the slot. He is not going to miss from there.
Welcome to UNYCHL Rinkside, the official podcast of the Upstate New York Collegiate Hockey League, featuring in-depth coverage of the league through the voices of its players and coaches. Here are Aaron Alpert and League Commissioner John Marchese.
John, about all we could ask for when it comes to excitement in a playoff semifinal matchups. Both games right from start to finish, intense back and forth battles. About what you would have to hope for coming into tonight.
2 one-goal games. Need I say more? 2 one-goal games.
That Cortland-St. Bonaventure game probably couldn't have been a more wild affair, as there were wild lead changes back and forth in that game. It didn't seem like either team was going to slow down. They had 10 goals before even the halfway part of the second period. What did you think about that game?
Well, I told you what were the keys to the game for Cortland's victory would be to get up big and get up on them early, and they did that. They got up 4-1 super early in that game, and credit to Bonaventure for not quitting, hanging in there, and it seemed like they took control later in the game, and then a terrible mistake in the end, but they recovered and pulled it off.
Cortland forcing overtime with under a minute to go, then St. Bonaventure winning in overtime in dramatic fashion, setting up a championship game and a third matchup with the Buffalo State Bengals. Buffalo State beating Binghamton in the second semifinal of the evening. That was another back and forth affair.
Another team coming back from a 4-1 deficit. I mean, I guess that's the magic number tonight. Hell of an effort from Tim and the boys. I mean, they didn't quit. Obviously, that's a great team on the other end, and they weren't intimidated. They played their game, they rallied, and pulled it off in the end. So, good for them. Can't wait.
What are you expecting to see in that matchup, the third meeting of the season between the Bonnies and the Bengals?
Well, 2 close games earlier in the season, 2 close playoff games. It's going to be a blowout, right, Aaron?
I wouldn't bet on that one, but this weekend has been full of surprises already. We might just have more in store on Sunday. John, it should be a great day of hockey. We have the Tier 2 championship at noon, and the Tier 1 championship coming up at 3 o'clock right here from the North Buffalo Ice Rink. Looking forward to what should be an excellent day of hockey, following up what already was a great day of hockey here tonight.
Thanks, Aaron. Great job. Can't wait to listen.
Joined now by color commentator Sean McHugh, who is on the call for both of today's semifinal games. Sean, both of them were exciting finishes, exciting games from start to finish. What was your assessment of the action out there tonight?
Couldn't have put it better myself, Aaron. Like we said, just exciting back and forth hockey, end to end, lots of offense, a lot of physical play, pretty goals. And here's the thing of it too, it's playoffs, so you have to be expecting dramatic and theatrics. We got both. I mean, the Cortland Bonaventure game, shorthanded goal with 40 seconds left to force overtime. Then a power play carries into overtime where the Bonnies kill it off, and then they get a huge goal after a goal mount scramble. And then once you think that the stage possibly can't be set for anything better, Buffalo State and Binghamton come out there, and similar to the way the Bonaventure-Cortland game went, back and forth. There was a 4-1 lead held at one point. It lasted minimal time. We got dramatics into the third period until Buffalo State's John Glasgow puts in a goal from the slot with 2 minutes left, and then they lock it down to ice the game. So, I mean, like I said on the broadcast, Aaron, the only thing that could possibly upstage the 2 games we got to watch before is if the winners face off in a championship game, and lucky for us, that's what we've got coming in here tomorrow. We've got 2 of the best teams in the UNYCHL facing off tomorrow, 2 teams that are also very familiar with each other as they are league opponents. So
that's right. Both teams part of the UNYCHL West Division. They met twice during the regular season. Buffalo State winning both of those matchups. What do you expect to see as they meet for a third time tomorrow?
I expect there to be a very physical, very high tempo, but yet a feeling out process as well. I expect Nick Filipowicz, the goaltender for St. Bonaventure, to have a bounce back game. I think he would tell you himself he was not at his best today. And I expect A.J. White, the goaltender for Buffalo State, who has been outstanding for the entire second semester, to play similar to him, but I expect this game to be a dogfight. Neither one of the Bonaventure Buff State games have been blowouts by any means. They've been great back and forth battles. I expect that with a championship on the line, both teams to give their absolute best, and I think we're going to be treated to another great hockey game. I don't know if we'll see the scoring we've been seeing because they're good defensive teams, but I think the dramatics and the physical play and the emotion are coming in from puck drop all the way to the time the game ends.
Stage is certainly set for what should be a great matchup. It is Buffalo State and St. Bonaventure playing for the UNYCHL Championship. We caught up with coaches from both of the winning sides after their victories. First, St. Bonaventure assistant coach Jordan Farnham. Coach, that was a wild game. 7-6 in overtime over Cortland. What were your thoughts about that one?
I didn't think we played our best, Aaron, but we did a lot of really good things, and we responded really well in that game. We fell behind 4-1. We were able to cut the lead to 4-3. at the end of the first that really gave us a fighting chance. Fell behind again, I believe 5-4, and then obviously took that lead, gave up that one late, but our guys were able to respond in the room afterwards and come out, kill that penalty in overtime, and get the winner. So it was overall a good start, I guess, to the weekend.
Certainly have to like the way that your team responded to adversity throughout that game.
Yeah, it's been said that we haven't faced adversity all season, but we got a bunch of guys that don't panic, so it's really good when we obviously wouldn't like to fall behind 4-1, but there was really no panic on the bench, and we did a good job of keeping our composure and coming back.
Get to face the Buffalo State Bengals now for a third time this year. The Bengals won the first 2 meetings of the year, both tight games. What are you expecting tomorrow?
I'm expecting another tight game as well. I mean, we know we have to play a little bit better than we played today and play our best as we have throughout this season, and it should be a good game. We like the way that we've been progressing. Obviously, we lost those 2 games to them early in the season, but if we come out and play our own game, we feel like we have a good chance.
An 11-game winning streak now. Coach Jordan Farnham, appreciate you taking the time and joining us. Best of luck tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Joined now by Buffalo State head coach Tim Turner. And Tim, a dramatic 5-4 win over the Binghamton Bearcats tonight. What do you think was the difference there for your team tonight?
Guys, they felt like they wanted to win. You could hear in the locker room, you could see it on the ice. The guys they're ready, they're prepared. They didn't really overthink the game either, so they wanted to come in and battle, and they did what they had to do.
Definitely a difficult opponent that you faced tonight. Binghamton was every bit as advertised, a strong offensive and defensive team. What do you think your guys were able to do well that was able to overcome them?
Absolutely, hats off to them. We got some snipers in that team, and AJ stood in his head. We went down, I think 4-2, 4-1, for what it was, but we knew something had to change, so we had to switch up our forecheck a little bit and see if we could make the difference.
What was the change that you guys made there?
We went from a full press to more of a half press, just clogging the zone, clogging the lanes, and just trying to beat their stretch pass.
You get a third matchup now with the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. You beat them twice in the regular season. You get to face them now for the UNYCHL Championship. What are you expecting from that matchup tomorrow?
Nothing short of a war. And we'll call it World War III. It's their third game against them. They're a hell of a team. I expect nothing but the best from them. They're well coached. They know us. We know them. They smell a rivalry in the making, I would say. So.
It's been 2 tight games between the Bengals and Bonnies. We expect nothing but the same again tomorrow. Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Once again, the UNYCHL champion. And good afternoon from the North Buffalo Ice Rink as we get set for the UNYCHL Championship game. Good afternoon and welcome to coverage of the UNYCHL Playoffs as it is Championship Sunday. League crowning a champion for the first time in 2 years. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern alongside Sean McHugh, and our title matchup today is two teams representing the UNYCHL West Division.
That's right, Aaron. It is the Buffalo State Bengals and the St. Bonaventure Bonnies for the third time this season. With these two teams, these two division rivals, Bengals winning both matchups in the regular season. Both close games as Buffalo went to the William O. Smith Rec Center in Olean and won 5-3 on the road, then won 5-4 in a game where they won with 4 seconds left in regulation on a goal by Brett Sardina in the second battle.
Meanwhile, both teams winning in dramatic fashion yesterday in the semifinals. The Bonnies won a wild 7-6 overtime game over Cortland. Meanwhile, the Bengals took out top seed Binghamton by a 5-4 score. In those games, both teams overcoming 4-1 deficits to come back and win a spot in today's finals.
Yep, and for Bonaventure to win it, it was Owen Hughes as the overtime hero, scoring down low from his knee to send St. Bonaventure to the finals, and that came after Cortland tied the game with an insane shorthanded goal with under a minute left. That game was nuts. That game was chaos on steroids. 10 goals scored before we hit the halfway point of the game.
Yeah, Bonaventure coaching staff told us afterwards that they didn't feel their team played their best last night, but they did certainly like how the squad handled the adversity that was thrown at them during the game. Meanwhile, in the later game, the Bengals hero was John Glasgow. His second of the game broke a 4-4 tie with 2:21 to go in the third period. It was a transition play where Binghamton's defenders were actually positioned well to protect their net, but Glasgow made a sneaky little move, slowing down a little bit to allow his back checker to skate past him, left him open in the slot with enough time and space to put home the game winner.
Yep, and earlier today we had the Tier 2 title game between the Niagara County Community College Thunderwolves and the St. John Fisher Cardinals. N-Trip played a great game. They were the better team. They won 5-2 despite a great effort and some great play by St. John Fisher, especially from their goaltender who kept them in it. And Trip again repeats as UNYCHL Tier 2 champions. I did get a chance to speak with Captain Chuck Schmidl after the game. He says they hope to make the jump to Tier 1 next season, but for now, they're going to celebrate as a team as they also ran the table in the division, going perfect regular season and playoffs. Not one loss in the division.
Yeah, one champion already crowned today, as Sean mentioned, the Niagara County Community College Thunderwolves winning the Tier 2 division title here this afternoon. It was a excellent game, very well played, beating St. John Fisher by a score of 6-2 earlier on. An excellent game, and we hope to get pretty much the same thing here in the Tier 1 championship game, as it will be the Buffalo State Bengals taking on the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. As we keep mentioning, it is the third time these two teams will meet this season. They met twice in the regular season, the Bengals winning the first meeting in Olean 5-3, and then they won at the Buffalo State Ice Arena by a 5-4 score. That was kind of an interesting game. Speaking of the comebacks from yesterday, that was a game in which Buff State actually was up 4-0 on the Bonnies at one point in the second period. St. Bonaventure came all the way back, tied it at 4, and it was that last-second goal, that 4-second goal by Brett Sardina right before the end of that game. Kind of a wild finish to that one. We had a couple of wild games yesterday. I expect nothing but more great hockey here today.
Absolutely. I mean, this has the makings of another barn burner as well. Two teams that are coming off dramatic emotional wins, and then they get rewarded to play familiar division opponents. And the thing is, both teams bring firepower to the table. Bengals have a ton of depth at the forward position. Glasgow 2 years ago might have been the focal point of the defense. Now, not only have to worry about him, they have to worry about number 3, Michael Guerrera. They got to worry about Anton Rupert, number 7. They have to worry about Ben Gallivan, the sneaky, shifty, do-it-all forward. And they got to worry about the guy that made me a meme, Brett Sardina, with just his speed and quickness and he just comes out of nowhere. So Bona, they're a great defensive team. They'll have their hands full today.
I think it is, when we talk about strength-on-strength matchups, this is a depth-on-depth matchup. Buffalo State, 3 lines deep that can all score, all with a lot of players that you have to keep an eye on. Meanwhile, the Bonas, they possess that overall balance in their lineup. It's often been said that the Bonnies don't have that one stud that drives their offense. I don't know, the more that I see Mason Mago, I think he might qualify for that. But the point is that it is a strong 4-line attack that the Bonnies will throw at you. Their 4th line, in fact, yesterday, they did some of the best work against Cortland during that game. contributions from the defense as well. Two great goaltenders on either side. This should be a fantastic matchup.
Oh yeah, it's got the makings of a classic. This is the kind of matchup you want to see in a championship game. And you know Nick Filipowicz, he is an outstanding goaltender. We know this as well as anybody. I guarantee you, if you asked him himself, he would probably cut you mid-sentence and say, I did not play my best game. And he knows that. I expect him to be on his game. I expect goaltender A.J. White, who is not at all a stranger to the big moment, being part of those great Star Point teams that won those championships, being the backbone of those teams. And Buffalo State also, they have the experience. They've got a bitter taste in their mouth from 2020 as well, as they got to this spot in Tier 2 at the Bill Gray's Ice Complex in Rochester. They would end up losing to the aforementioned Niagara County Community College Thunderwolves in that championship game. Bonaventure really wants to wipe that taste out of their mouth as well, and Bonaventure wants to beat the only team that has beaten them, and they have not beaten.
That's a great point. St. Bonaventure comes into this game just 2 losses on the season. The only team to beat them is the team on the other side of the rink tonight, the Buffalo State Bengals. This one should be a great matchup, certainly the way that those 2 games went specifically, and just the way that these 2 teams have played from start to finish this year. 2 of the class teams here in the UNYCHL, and we couldn't have asked for a better type of matchup here in the UNYCHL championship game.
And a quick note as well, we've got a matchup of 2 great teams, but Aaron, both of these teams brought the fire with their uniforms today too. Buff State coming out in those crispy clean, all white and orange jerseys from Envious Gameware. St. Bonaventure wearing their iconic brown. I know a thing or two about St. Bonaventure. I don't know if you know this. So they're coming out in their nice brown Adidas uniforms. So it looks great on the ice. I think the play is going to be just as good.
Well, we can only hope that the hockey lives up to what we've seen in terms of the uniforms that either team has on. It'll be a great-looking game. It should be a great game as well. Let's head down to ice level and meet tonight's starting lineups.
Here is the starting lineup for St. Bonaventure. Head forward, number 5, James Johnson. Head forward, number 61, Connor O'Brien. Head forward, number 77, Sam Chakowski. At defense, number 11, Jacob Jackson. At defense, number 14, David Stutz. And starting in goal, number 31, Nick Filipowicz. At this time, please rise for the anthem.
Hello again from the North Buffalo Ice Rink as we get ready to crown a champion in the UNYCHL. It is the Buffalo State Bengals squaring off against the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. A title is on the line, the UNYCHL Tier 1 Division Championship. It's going to be handed out today after 3 periods of hockey, and we'll see which one of these UNYCHL West Division teams will take home the trophy this afternoon. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern, joining you for the call of today's game alongside color commentator Sean McHugh, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski, as we get set to go between the Bonnies and Bengals for a 3rd time this season.
Yep, 3rd time's a charm here. Bonaventure, like we mentioned earlier, the only blemish on their record are 2 losses to St. Bonaventure. They get a chance to right that ship and, make it a perfect record in terms of their opponents, getting all of them. Buff State looking to avenge a loss in the Tier 2 championship back in 2020. We are underway.
We are underway from the North Buffalo Ice Rink. The puck back into the Buffalo State zone. Zach Schultz moving it into center ice. Quickly dumped back in across the Buff State blue line by the defenseman David Stutz. Now a loose puck coming back into the St. Bonaventure zone. Stutz will have to go back for it there. His pass hits the skate of a teammate. Bengals keep it in. Unable to maintain control of that rolling puck was Joe Lotempio. Might have had an opportunity to set something up down low. Bengals again now setting up here in the neutral zone. They send it right back into the offensive zone. Comes around hard on the boards. Big hit over there on the far side as Cole Newman ran into his man as that puck was coming out of the zone. All the way back into the Bengals territory as we are 40 seconds into the action here. Puck comes up to Ben Gallivan here in the center ice area. He spins to avoid a check. Bengals find that puck along the blue line. Zach Schultz into the offensive zone. Unable to keep that one in, though, was Ryan Hahn. Now an opportunity for Mason Mego in transition. Mego shoots it high glove, and he finds that top corner of the net. It's 1-0 St. Bonaventure on a pretty shot by Mason Mego in transition. The Bonnies have the early lead, not even a minute in.
Yeah, Bengals went to pinch, and the defenseman got caught, and as they got caught pinching, they were caught changing, so the Bengals got caught on a scramble. Mason Mego, who was the play driver for the Bonnies in the game yesterday, gets in all by himself on the left wing with Hussey kind of taking the pass away, rips one over the glove hand of A.J. White, and 56 seconds in, Bonaventure has the perfect start to this game.
Bonaventure trying to avenge their 2 losses from earlier this season to Buffalo State. In that first game in Olean, it was actually the Bonnies getting on the board first, but it was Buffalo State coming back and winning that one by a 5-3 score. Bengals scored first in the second meeting. It was a 4-0 lead that Buffalo State opened up in that contest before St. Bonaventure came all the way back, tied it at 4, and the Bengals won on a last-second goal by this man, Brett Sardina, number 53, as he's got it here in the offensive zone. Puck comes back to the point, kept in by Hussey, gets it to Sardina there in the high slot. Sardina just plays it with a backhand forward into the corner, and he stops there, tries to feed that pass out in front, intercepted, though, by Mego before it could get across to Anton Rupert. Chance for Jack Kernitz to get that puck up ice. He takes a bump here below our broadcast position, eventually does get it into the offensive zone, exchanges a couple of shots with Anton Rupert before he heads to the bench. And St. Bonaventure making a change here as they dump it back into the offensive zone. About 2 minutes gone here in the first period. As the Bengals look to break it out, they turn it over. Sloppy play there as they hand Owen Hughes an empty net to shoot it into in front of the net. Bengals just can't connect on that pass to get the puck out of the zone, and they hand over a perfect turnover for the Bonnies, and the Bonnies take advantage. It's now 2-0 as Owen Hughes, last night's hero, gets the second goal of the game for the Bonnies here in today's championship.
Yeah, that's a brutal turnover behind the net right there. Hussey held the puck too long and then tried to flip one over to Ryan Hahn with pressure coming down on him. Puck, A.J. White just wasn't ready for the puck to come out in front, makes the initial save, is caught off guard, and Owen Hughes just taps it into the open net, and on 2 shots, the Bonnies have a 2-0 lead.
Not even 2 shifts into the game here. It's 2-0. Now a turnover for the Bengals in the offensive zone. Shots taken by Ryan Miller. Save was made by Filipowicz as both teams seem to be maybe gripping those sticks a little bit tight here in their own zone, turning the puck over in some dangerous areas here in the first 2 minutes and change. Bengals turnover ends up costing them a goal against. St. Bonaventure avoids the same fate here on that play, but they do have to deal with a defensive zone draw as we have 17:42 remaining in the first. Bengals win that draw, getting it back to the point. Ryan Miller now has it on that half wall, gets it across to Cole Newman, shot in on goal. Rebound was there briefly, cleared out by a defenseman, though. Sent the length of the ice, and this one will go all the way back into Buffalo State territory and go for an icing on the play. So another offensive zone draw coming up for the Bengals.
Yeah, and Buffalo State finally gets a chance to get an offensive zone faceoff and settle down a little bit. I mean, they got punched in the mouth hard to start this game. They need to settle it down. They're finally getting their first starting line out there, looking to maybe get some momentum, get some shots on goal, because they
they're not on their heels yet, but they need to avoid any further damage.
There's a shot by Ben Gallivan right off the draw. He got a lot on it, just missed the net, hits the glass, and keeps moving him behind the net. Gallivan trying to create some pressure down there, down low, comes out to the point. Cole Newman makes sure it stays in the zone, but it comes out eventually. Now Newman ends up trying to make a D-to-D pass, and it goes right to Connor O'Brien. Good work by Kelly to make sure that didn't get in towards the slot. Now Zach Schultz fights through a check to get that puck up ice. Schultz into the offensive zone, shoots it around the defenseman. Save is made by Filipowicz. Schultz goes and chases it down in the corner, getting a little support there from Joe Lotempio along the boards. As Lotempio and Tchaikovsky battle for that loose puck, Lotempio takes a hit from Stutz coming into the play late, but back to the point to Kelly. Shot in on goal, blocker save made. Now it goes off to that far corner. The Bengals keep it moving in the offensive zone. Lotempio trying to center that one out to Schultz, just hit a defenseman's skate. Good play at the right blue line, though, as it's kept in by Ryan Kelly.
Bengals doing a great job with some pressure after getting scored on. They haven't really allowed the Bonnies to have any scoring chances. Bonnies just put the first 2 shots in. Bengals with a good response to the 2 quick goals.
Yeah, Bengals spending a decent amount of time here on this shift in the offensive zone. They keep another one in at the point.
Ooh!
Just unable to get that pass to Galvin. Ryan Kelly was right there almost next to him as both of them were trying to get into position to keep that puck in, just unable to separate enough to get that pass in front of the net. Bengals now battling for a loose puck right in front of the St. Bonaventure bench. And eventually it's played forward by Ray Werner to the Buff State blue line, then quickly up ice. Sardina has it just outside the blue line, dumps it in, and the Bengals put some pressure on here in the offensive zone. It is Anton Rupert quickly on that puck. Tries to play it around behind the net to find Elliott Hunt. Takes a little bit of a weird bounce, and then St. Bonaventure moves it through the neutral zone back to Buffalo State territory. Ryan Hahn takes a bump there from Sobko. Now tries to skate it almost out in front of the net. That puck was in a real dangerous spot. Almost looked like that second goal that St. Bonaventure scored, with the Bengals just being a little bit casual trying to get that puck out of their own zone. They do manage to get this one up ice, and it's Anton Rupert into the offensive zone. He's got Elliott Hunt with him. Rupert takes a shot. Looked like the toe of Filipowicz just got a piece of that one, keeping that one from catching the inside post. Bonnies send it the length of the ice, and we get an icing as the action is starting to pick up here from the North Buffalo Ice Rink. Almost 5 minutes into the game so far. 2-0 is the early lead for St. Bonaventure, but Buffalo State putting a little bit of pressure back on the Bonnies to respond here.
Yeah, like I said, good response by the Bengals. They got hit hard early to start this game, but they have responded and played their game. They're getting zone time. They're getting sustained zone time and trying to get shots. Looks like Filipowicz is on his game, though, today, which was something to watch, but I don't think it's any surprise to anybody that he's going to bring it for a championship.
Bonaventure getting that possession off the draw, and they get it out of the zone. They get to execute their change here that they'd been looking to do, unable to do, though, on the icing before. And now the Bengals looking to get that puck up ice, just unable to connect on that pass in the neutral zone. And here come the Bonnies in transition. Spina making sure it gets deep into the offensive zone. He takes a bump there from Ryan Hahn. Now a pass out in front to Kernitz. Good save there by A.J. White, getting the blocker on that quick wrist shot from Jack Kernitz. Another good look there for the Bonnies. All 3 of their shots have been high-danger opportunities. Certainly something that the Bengals will have to tighten up defensively if they're going to try to keep this offensive attack from the Bonnies from creating more chances like that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Buff State defensemen really have to do a better job of taking care of their own end. They're turning the puck over way too much. This relentless forecheck is really giving the Bengals fits right now.
Yeah, so one player there alone dealing with those 2 forecheckers. Eventually the Bengals get it out of the zone. Now it's Elliott Hunt into the offensive zone. Backhand pass through the slot. Nobody there to catch it, though. Now an opportunity to get it out of the zone and clear it through neutral ice. Michael Rappa making sure that one got forward and into the Bengals zone. Bonnie's making a change here as the Bengals also finish up a change as well. Puck here in the near corner as Cole Newman tries to go D-to-D with that. Fans on the pass. Gets a second opportunity. This time he goes up the near boards to Ryan Miller. Miller then up to Glasgow, and the puck gets out of the zone all the way back down to St. Bonaventure territory. Heading back there after that one will be Jacob Jackson. Jackson stops to avoid his fellow number 11, John Glasgow, who's putting some pressure on. Eventually gets that puck up ice. Good stick there in the neutral zone as it was Ryan Kelly throwing the shoulder into James Johnson there along the red line. Now it's going to be Michael Guerrero taking that puck up ice. Gets it up to Miller. Miller one-touch pass to Glasgow, and they gain the blue line, but good defensive back pressure there by St. Bonaventure. They had plenty of guys back there on that play. St. Bonaventure winning a foot race here to negate the icing. Newman gets knocked down behind the net, shot in attempt from in tight, and then a hack at the goaltender there as that rebound wasn't really out there for O'Brien to take a swing at, but it made a little poke. Now he's going to go have a quick word with A.J. White to make sure that there are no hard feelings. Good to see that sportsmanship as both teams get ready for a draw here in the Buff State zone. 13:08 remaining in the first period. It's a 2-0 lead for the Bonnies.
Yeah, good to see O'Brien as well acknowledge that he shouldn't have done that. Instead of engaging in Miller, immediately taps and says, my bad, and no bad blood's going to boil over here.
A lot of respect that these two teams have for each other. We've seen that in the 2 contests earlier this year, as well as just some of the exchanges off the ice that we've seen here this weekend. A lot of respect that the Bengals have for the Bonnies and vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
I expect this to be a fairly clean game in that regard. There's no real bad blood there, but there's certainly a healthy rivalry here between these two teams, as we've seen tight games. It's played already this year twice, and it's a championship game now on the line. If that doesn't increase that rivalry feel, I'm not sure what will.
Ceiling. Oh, that's landed on the roof.
It stayed.
That's awesome.
That's up there. You can see it up there on the top of one of those lights on the low ceiling here at the North Buffalo Ice Rink. It was St. Bonaventure looking for that long, high stretch pass, but there's not really a lot of headroom in this building to pull that one off. We've seen a number of those types of passes hitting the ceiling. This one actually stayed up there. It got onto the top of one of the lights suspended from the ceiling, and that puck's going to be there for years to come, most likely.
Yep, we'll remember this game forever just because of the puck.
Loose puck here in the offensive zone for the Bengals. Unable to come out of that one, though, was Joe Lotempio as he was scrambling for a loose puck there in the slot. If he could have kind of settled that one down, there might have been something for the Bengals. Now they have to go back and play some defense. Ryan Hahn just unable to get that pass connected with. He had Zach Schultz coming up the right side. Now it's back into the Bonaventure territory where it's going to be Fitzpatrick starting to break out. His pass is too far for anybody here in the neutral zone. Bengals send it right back into the offensive zone. But a quick counter play, and back up ice comes Juhas. He actually retreats and heads for the bench. Bengals now with a chance to move it up ice. They were hoping to catch Bonaventure in a change, it looked like. Just unable to connect on any passes. Now Bonaventure here in the offensive zone setting up shop. TJ Wall with a backhand pass off the side of the net, covered by AJ White before anybody is able to get to that one and create anything. And we'll have a whistle and a faceoff coming up inside the Bengals zone with 12:03 left in the first.
Yeah, Bonaventure's forecheck is really giving the Buff State defensemen a hard time getting those breakout passes. It led to a goal. It's led to some scoring chances. Buffalo State has to do a better job of breaking out of their own end because that forecheck is causing problems.
Scrambled off the draw. Ryan Kelly eventually finds possession of it, gets it to Cole Newman, and Newman gets that puck up ice. Managed to avoid that pressure this time, and now Anton Rupert circles along his own blue line. He's got some speed as he carries it into the offensive zone.
Wow.
Avoids one check there as the Bonaventure player goes to the ice trying to hit Rupert. Rupert still has the puck here in the near corner. Back to the point. Sent right back down low by Cole Newman, and now Sardina's on his horse trying to get that one there on the far side. Gets it to Elliott Hunt, cycles it down low. He's got Rupert down there. Good shift here by this Bengals unit, putting some pressure there on the defenders in the offensive zone, but eventually breaking that pressure, getting that puck up ice is Ray Werner. His pass hits a skate, eventually gets a little bit of help from TJ Wall, and they get it into the offensive zone. Bonnie's now making a change as they only have one man in on the forecheck. Bengals just quickly sending that puck out of the zone. Not a whole lot of poise there, as there was only really one player for the Bonnies on the ice in position to make a play there. Just quickly fed out of the zone by the Bengals.
There it is.
Now they connect on a pass here in the neutral zone. Ryan Miller at the blue line. Got a man coming late, just tries to fire that one up top. Looked like a little bit of the shoulder of Filipowicz got that one.
Look out.
Mason Mego now carrying the puck out of his zone. Avoids what would have been a big hit from Ryan Miller, who had him in his sights. Eventually gets it up to Kernitz. Kernitz deflects it on goal, and it is played here in the corner. As Ryan Miller plays it to the point, kept in by Stutz, takes a shot through traffic. It hits the side of the net. Wraparound opportunity there for Spina. Just unable to get past the defenseman there, Ryan Hahn, making sure that he can get to that near post. Spina now back to the point. He's got Stutz. Cross-ice pass. Mego with that shot. Hit a body on its way through. It looked like it was Guerrera just getting in there and making sure that that one didn't get in on net. A diving clear then is made by Ryan Miller, and then eventually goes all the way the length of the ice. And kind of another quiet whistle here in the building as Zach Schultz was ready to jump right into the play there. And there was really nothing that was going on because the play had been blown dead on the icing call.
Yeah, I mean, the whistle was quick and quiet. I mean, the problem is you're going to get somebody rocked doing that, too, because the guy carrying the puck might stop, but the defenseman might not hear him and bury him. So refs got to, make that. That's the point of the whistle, so you hear it. So use it.
Puck on the far side as the Bonaventure team finds possession of it. They can't maintain possession, however. Now comes out to Lotempio here in the near boards. Lotempio trying to get it past the Bonnies' forecheck. Unable to do so on the first attempt. It's the second one that finally gets out of the zone. But it's going to be Fitzpatrick sending it right back in for the Bonnies. Jeff Hyde over there on the far side trying to get that puck out of the zone. Taken away from him, however. Now James Johnson setting it up back to the point. That shot was half fanned on by Fitzpatrick, but Hughes finds it behind the net. Before he loses control of it, Ryan Hahn taking it away, now trying to carry it out of the zone, losing control of that there, just short of the blue line, turning that puck over and giving the Bonnies another chance in the offensive zone. That shot by Rappa goes wide, though, as it was deflected. And now it's going to be Lotempio and Hahn trying to get that puck out of the corner for the Bengals. Eventually, Hahn makes a good move to get around his man. Just sends a soft pass through the neutral zone, but it's got enough on it to be icing. And that's going to be a difficulty here for the Bengals, as they're going to have to deal with another defensive zone draw. At least this defensive pairing has been out there for a fair amount of time. The forward line is at least a little bit fresher here, but definitely that defensive pairing has been out there for about a minute now. So we're going to see if, say, Bonaventure can take advantage of that. You know that they'll try to get an opportunity here right off this faceoff.
I mean, the guy's got to talk and get the puck.
Bengals win the faceoff. Nobody actually goes back and gets the puck, and that allows O'Brien to set up some pressure in the corner. Takes a hit from two different Bengals there, but keeps that thing pinned to the boards as two aside here trying to find possession of that one. O'Brien eventually kicks it out of there. Then Schultz takes a hit along the boards to get it out into the neutral zone. O'Donohue sending it right back into the zone. O'Brien has to clear the zone, not realizing he has a delayed offsides coming up. Schultz unable to get that pass connected on, though, as the Bengals had a free pass to get out of the zone, just only got it to their blue line. Turned over in front of the net. Bengals being a little bit sloppy here in their own zone, just kind of handing the puck to St. Bonaventure in some dangerous areas. We mentioned that the defensive pairing had been out there for a while. Maybe start to see some of the effects of it. Eventually the Bengals get control of the puck and they get it up ice. Ben Gallivan carrying it through the neutral zone. Gallivan gets to the blue line, takes a bump as he backhands it around behind the net. Zach Schultz now putting some pressure on in the far corner. Two different Bonnies over there trying to battle him for that puck, though. He's got Sardina to help out a little bit as well. Eventually, Sardina pulls it out of that side, takes a shot, trying to go high blocker side. Just getting a piece of that was Filipowicz, maybe just a little bit of the stick. Sardina now finds a loose puck again, tries to get a shot in on goal. That one's blocked by O'Donohue, and the puck comes out to the blue line. Bengals unable to keep it in the zone, and O'Donohue's going to have a chance to get that one up ice, and he connects to Werner here just outside the Bengals blue line. Defenseman falls down here. Elliott Hunt unable to find that puck, though. Could have been an opportunity as the defenseman O'Donohue went to the ice here in the neutral zone. He eventually, though, recovers his position, gets back into place as the puck comes up into the neutral zone. Elliott Hunt quickly up to Brett Sardina. Sardina into the offensive zone with speed. Fires a shot. Glove save is made by Filipowicz. It came out in front of him there briefly, so he was unable to corral that rebound.
Net came off.
As we have the net coming off here in the St. Bonaventure zone, something we saw numerous times in our earlier championship game, the Tier 2 championship game earlier today. And we kept on remarking about how we would like to see the officials maybe make sure that they put some water there on the base of the posts. And again, that has not been done, so keep an eye on that and see whether or not that is a recurring issue like it was in the earlier game.
Let's see if Buff State can finally start to do something with the zone time they've been having. They've been doing a really good job of possessing the puck, but they're not really challenging Filipowicz, and he's a good goaltender who's probably angry right now, so you really got to test him. You got to make him make great saves. They haven't done that yet.
Bengals do have the puck here in the offensive zone, but it's the Bonnies with possession of the puck. Long pass through the neutral zone, bouncing puck. Good play by the skate of Cole Newman to make sure that one didn't get past him. Now Sardina into the offensive zone. He's got a man on the back door. Elliott Hunt just able to knock that one out of the air as Sardina had to float that pass at about hip height in order to get that one across to him. Zone entry does not work there for St. Bonaventure. Now they get a second opportunity to do so. They get it across the blue line, but only about a couple of steps. Then the Bengals find possession of it with 6:45 to go in the first period. Ryan Kelly looking to carry it out of his zone in through center ice, but a good stick there by Jack Kernitz, knocking him off of that one. Sending Cole Newman back into his zone to start the breakout. Turns it over. Mego in front of the net. Save is made by A.J. White. He had to be sharp on that one as Mego was handed another opportunity in a prime scoring area.
No, sir! Get that out of this house! What a play by Kelly.
Jake Spina looking to do the lacrosse move that has been wildly famous throughout hockey over the last year and change. Ryan Kelly reading that one perfectly and laying him out there before he could even get that one to the goal line. That is one of those plays that you knew that we were going to see at some point maybe this weekend. Nice to see the defense stand up and keep that one from materializing. Loose puck in front of the net, almost came out to Ryan Miller. cleared the length of the ice, goes just barely past the right post of A.J. White, so it will go for icing. Offensive zone draw coming up for the Bengals. 5:55 to go in the first period. Buffalo State still trailing this one by a 2-0 score as the Bonnies got out to an early lead, getting 2 quick goals in the first few minutes.
Yeah, they first 2 pucks on the net ended up in the back of the net for the Bonnies, but Buffalo State spent a lot of the time in the Bonaventure zone. They got to do something with it now, though.
Shot is taken, but it's blocked. Rebound sitting there.
Puck.
Yeah, bad communication again from the Bengals. It looked like 2 or 3 players were all trying to play that same loose puck. Eventually, St. Bonaventure trying to sneak that change in there after the icing. But there's a four official crew out there. You might be able to pull that off with 2 officials or 3 officials, but not when there are 4 of them out there. All 3 of the forwards have to come back onto the ice for the Bonnies here as they deal with another defensive zone draw. Now 5:42 to go in the first. Face-off comes out to the boards. They manage to play it up ice. This is going to be another icing, assuming Hahn can win the foot race for it, and he does. About a step ahead of Jake Spina. And we will again come back down into the Bonnies territory for a face-off with 5:34 now left in the first.
Buffalo State, again, they're getting the offensive zone face-offs. They got one of their better face-off men on there. You really want to see them get some cycle and start getting some shots on Filipowicz. There's plenty of traffic in front. Got to get the pucks to the net. Buffalo State has not played a bad period once we got past the first 2 minutes, but now they got to try to at least cut this lead in half before they can go reset into the second period.
Puck along that far boards, kept in here at the near point. Alex Hussey taking a big hit, though, to make sure it stays in the zone. As it's now in behind the St. Bonaventure net. Mitchell March trying to get the breakout started on that far side. Gets it up to Kernitz, who just swings it around back behind the net. And now it's Fitzpatrick trying to do something here. Comes out in front of the net. Almost came right to Joe Lotempio. Could have been a good opportunity for the Bengals captain. Eventually, St. Bonaventure does manage it to clear this one the length of the ice. It will not go far enough for icing, as Alex Hussey stops in behind his net and starts the breakout up to Ben Gallivan. Gallivan makes a move to avoid one man. Now he has some speed coming up the right wing. Gallivan on his backhand along the goal line, now in behind the net, banks it off the back of the net, gets it to Schultz. Schultz tries to kick it to his stick, almost kicks it into the net, then tries to dig in there for the rebound, takes a hit for his troubles. Eventually, Filipowicz covers that one, and we get a whistle with 4:41 to go in the first period, as it was an opportunity from in down low created by Ben Gallivan's stick handling and speed carrying it up the wall. Bengals, as you said, Sean, they've responded nicely so far after giving up the first 2 goals of this game.
Yep, and they feel like they're getting closer and closer and closer each and every time. That time they got one to the goal mount. Filipowicz stayed strong on his pads. Let's see what they can do with this here.
Pass made there by Elliott Hunt, trying to find Anton Rupert on the far side. Good defense, though, by the Bonnies, making sure that cross-ice pass didn't connect. Under 4.5 to go now in the first period as the puck comes back into the St. Bonaventure zone. Good pressure there by the Bengals to create a loose puck. Rupert gets it back to the point, but it just barely comes across the blue line. Kelly and Newman will have to go back and retreat for it. A little bit of difficulty handling that one, though, by Newman as his stick breaks in his own zone. And now he's going to have to do some battle without a stick.
I need a whistle.
Comes out in front of the net, played with a glove to the corner by Ryan Kelly. Drives his man into the boards here on the near side. And Cole Newman again coming over there as well. Almost takes a penalty there as he tried to tie his man up. Eventually the Bengals find possession of the puck, get that puck out of the zone into center ice. Quickly sent back in, though, as Cole Newman heads to the bench for a replacement. And eventually, actually both teams making some changes here, allowing the Bengals to move that puck up ice. Pass doesn't connect, though, to Anton Rupert here in the neutral zone, and the Bonnies come back across the Bengals' blue line. Puck is played in behind the net as Connor Uhas goes to the ice against the near boards. A breakout attempt on the backhand is deflected out of play by a St. Bonaventure stick, so we'll have a faceoff coming up in the neutral zone with 3:31 to go in the first period. It is a 2-0 lead for the Bonnies.
Buff State, I really want to see them put the pedal to the metal right here. Bonaventure, they're not on their heels, but they are backed into the defensive shell right now, which is allowing Buff State to have a little bit of zone time. I really want to see these point shots get there with traffic in front of the net. They're starting to do that because Bonaventure's really trying to also play a lot of stretch games because they're an incredibly fast team. So Buffalo State really want to try to see them get some pressure down low because they might be able to create a mismatch down low with these forwards leaving the zone a little early.
Good play there at the left point as Ryan Hahn kept that one in with a skate. Comes out to the right point, kept in again. Jeff Hyde with the play here at the near defensive point position. Comes out to the far side. Hahn unable to keep that one on the blue line, though, and they have to regroup here in the neutral zone. Hyde just floats it into the offensive zone as it's going to be a delayed offsides here. giving a little bit of room and space for Jackson to carry that one up ice, getting it into the Buff State zone. Bonnie's making a change here. Bengals are going to have an opportunity to move that one up ice, but again, maybe just not as much poise as you would like to see rushing that pass, despite the fact that the other team was in the middle of a change.
Yeah, these are some things you really want to see Buffalo State iron out. The opportunities are there. They got to capitalize, though.
Mitchell Marsh has some speed into the offensive zone, creating some room for himself. Takes a hit in behind the net as Zach Schultz coming back well on that play to play some good defensive zone work. Ryan Hahn now rides his man into the corner as the puck comes out to the near point. Kept in, Brady Fitzpatrick making a good play to make sure that puck didn't get across the blue line. Now it comes out to his defensive partner on the other side. Marsh's shot goes wide and into the corner here on the near side, as this is the fourth unit out there for the St. Bonaventure team. We talked about how they played very well yesterday against Cortland. Maybe one of their more effective lines throughout that game, showing how the Bonnies really have a solid four-line attack. Bengals now move it into the offensive zone as Sobko tries to start the breakout. He takes a hit there from Ben Gallivan and gets to Fitzpatrick in behind the net. Eventually that puck is cleared into the center ice area. And going back for that one is Cole Newman. He has plenty of time to make a move up ice as the Bonnies again making a change there. Ben Gallivan just mishandling that puck outside of the blue line. Feeds a backhand pass, though, kind of in a dangerous area. Didn't end up creating an advantage for either team.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Had me nervous there for a moment, as eventually that puck is settled down, comes back into the Buff State zone, and Ryan Kelly playing it through the neutral zone, set up there by Aiden Jones. Jones D to D. Brady Fitzpatrick tries to make a pass in the middle of the ice. That one's intercepted. Zach Schultz. That one's intercepted, though. Now Mego into the offensive zone. Both teams seem to be continuing to have that issue in the neutral zone, just maybe gripping it a little bit tight here in this championship game. A lot of those uncharacteristic type of turnovers. Into the offensive zone. Here comes Sardina. He was looking for that far corner. Just had a little bit too much on it in terms of elevation, missing that far corner and going wide and off the glass. Bengals, though, countering in the neutral zone. Rupert in the offensive zone. He lets that shot go. He had that one right on net. Good blocker save by Filipowicz. Rupert again with a chance in behind the net, just unable to possess that puck cleanly. Now 40 seconds remaining in the first period. Aiden Jones up ice. Lays a hit. It takes a hit from his man there as it gets in on net. Rebound opportunity. Mego taking that backhand shot. Save is made by A.J. White as the Bengals move it up ice with 23 seconds to go in the period. Anton Rupert coming into the zone alone. Collides with the defenseman. He gets the better of that one. Now loose puck in behind the net with 15 seconds to go in the period. Kicked along as Bengals try to find one last push for an offensive zone opportunity here with 9 seconds in the period. Elliott Hunt making sure it stays down low. Anton Rupert chases it down in the corner, but he plays it to an empty point, and that's going to do it for the first period as the period comes to a close. And for some reason, the horn didn't go on the score clock, so players continued to play after the clock had hit zero. I'd like to see maybe the officials, there are 4 of them on the ice. One of them should have been blowing a whistle when the clock got to zero. So now there's an animated conversation between the St. Bonaventure bench and the officials because the play was allowed to continue when it should have stopped, and you had half of the players still playing and the other half of the players realizing that the clock had hit zero and it was time for intermission.
Yeah, and you have a championship game between rivals in here as well. So, I mean, this is going to happen. These officials, I mean, they got to get a grip right here because this could boil over quickly right now. So, I mean, I don't know what the discussion is or why the horn didn't go or why the officials didn't just scream into the whistle. I don't get it, but
yeah, it was a well-played period. There wasn't a whole lot that was on the edge there until that very last moment there, and it's something that should have been able to be avoided in this situation. Either way, that's how the period will come to a close, and it comes to a close with the St. Bonaventure Bonnies ahead by a 2-0 score. They got the first 2 goals of the game pretty early on there in that first period. Bengals settled in a little bit after that, but kind of one of those games where you could tell that both teams maybe are playing in a championship game with the title on the line, maybe just that little extra bit of nerves on display out there on the ice.
Yeah, especially on the Buff State end with the defensemen. They were rushing. They were trying really hard to get the pucks up quickly, and they muffed a lot of their passes, especially early. Both times it ended up in the back of their net. So, well, for one time it ended up in the back of their net. Another time they got caught on a bad change after a bad pinch. So luckily they responded, did damage control. I would say that for the last 15 minutes of the first, Buffalo State was I don't want to say the better team, but had definitely more chances. They need a big second period here, Aaron. They can't let this get to 3 goals. I know 4-1, all that, but against a team that knows you very well,
be better suited to get back into it versus let the lead grow.
Yeah, I feel like yesterday was, hey, there's
There
the horn.
it is, hey.
It does work. Cool. That's a relief. It felt like I think yesterday those two semifinal games were maybe a little bit more open than what we're going to see here from the rest of this one. Certainly the way the first period went, not as wide open and wild as those two semifinal games were yesterday. Obviously, I would expect St. Bonaventure with the lead to continue to make sure that they keep things tight, play their good defensive zone structure, make sure that they don't allow those golden opportunities from good areas on the ice in the offensive zone for the Bengals. Meanwhile, Buff State, I think they're just going to try to continue to do what they've done well in the first period and try to clean up a little bit of stuff in their own zone. And I expect this to be a very well-played game for the rest of the way here. We still have 40 minutes of play in regulation here from the North Buffalo Ice Rink. We're going to step away here for the first intermission, but we'll be back with you for the second period in about 15 minutes. back inside the North Buffalo Ice Rink as we get ready for second period play of our UNYCHL championship game this afternoon. It is the Buffalo State Bengals and the St. Bonaventure Bonnies squaring off for the UNYCHL title today. And it's the Bonnies that got out to the quick start in the first period. They got the game's first 2 goals within the first 3 minutes of action here. And they carried that lead all throughout the first period. And they now hold the 2-0 lead to start period number 2. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern, joining you for the call of tonight's game alongside color commentator Sean McHugh, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski as we get ready for second period play here from the North Buffalo Ice Rink. And it was a period in which St. Bonaventure took advantage of their opportunities early. Bengals maybe settled in a little bit in the later going, but certainly the type of frame that the team in brown has to be happy with, taking that 1-0 or 2-0 lead into the locker room.
Definitely. They jumped on the Bengals early, and they jumped on them often to start the game. A missed pinch and a turnover on defense in the first 2.5 minutes of the game gives them a 2-0 lead. The Bengals do a nice job of responding with offensive zone time. We're not able to put one past the goaltender, Filipowicz. Buffalo is used to coming from behind, but they got to get to work right now.
And they face a difficult defensive team to come from behind against, despite the fact that St. Bonaventure gave up 6 goals yesterday to Cortland. I feel like, as we talked about in that first period, that might have been kind of the outlier type of day with the big scoring affairs in both of the semifinals yesterday. 13 goals in one game, 9 goals in the next. 2 goals so far here in this one so far, both of them for the Bonnies. Defensive zone draw coming up for St. Bonaventure here to the left of Filipowicz.
Yeah, you want to see Buffalo get going early right here, get some momentum back, and there's a shot right there.
Winning the faceoff, getting it back to Gallivan. His shot, though, didn't get through traffic, just hit a skate and went wide. Bengals keep it in, though, at the point. Cole Newman's carrying that one in. Ends up being taken off of that puck by Connor O'Brien. O'Brien knocks down Joe Lotempio here in the neutral zone, and the Bonnies pick up possession of it. They started up ice. Stutz almost connecting in that pass. He had O'Brien cutting through the neutral zone along the blue line, just missing that one, so it will go for an icing on the play. And the faceoff will come back down into St. Bonaventure territory. 19-17 now to go in the second period.
Yep, and Coach Turner is going to roll them, and he's going to roll them fast. Here comes Glasgow, Miller, and Guerrero with Hahn and Hussey on the back end. They're going to try to shuffle the troops and keep people fresh right now so they can just keep the pedal to the metal the entire time.
Glasgow, the hero in yesterday's semifinal win for the Bengals, scoring twice, including the game winner with 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go. He's pinned up in a battle for a loose puck on the far boards. Eventually, St. Bonaventure gets it out of there. It's O'Brien into the offensive zone. Had a half of a step on Hahn. Did manage to use that half of a step to get a shot in on A.J. White. White makes the save, and some fist bumps and head taps there from players on both sides as we see the sportsmanship reestablishing itself. A lot of respect that these teams have for each other, and we're seeing that more on display there as opposed to what we saw at the end of the first period, in which we didn't really have the horn go and some players continued to play and others didn't.
Yeah, if there's a UNYCHL Lady Bing trophy, I'm going to give it to O'Brien. That's twice he's kind of maybe done something that would have led to an altercation, immediately, diffuses it and, gives fist bumps. Oh, but big opportunity for Buff State right here. Can't get the pass across to the slot.
A great zone entry, though, by Ryan Miller. He had a man all over him, making it really difficult just to get that in. He did, however. Now back in the other direction, an opportunity for the Bonnies as Kernitz was handed a turnover in a dangerous spot. 2 shots on goal. Bengals keeping that one out, now getting it up ice. Miller tries to play that pass in his skates, just unable to get it out of the zone. Mego feeds it back down low. He's got Spina there and feeds it out in front to Mego. Point-blank shot save is made with the pad by A.J. White. Bonnies, though, keeping that pressure on. This line has been very effective so far. And now we have a couple of players tied up to the side of the net. It is Kernitz and Hahn, as I'm not sure exactly what started that little exchange, but eventually they separate. No, they come back together, though, to have a couple more words before the end of the shift. Kernitz heading to the bench, Hahn doing the same after a little bit of a warning from the linesman. And both teams completing a change here, so we'll have a face-off in the Bengals zone with 18:15 remaining in the second.
Yeah, it's getting a little physical over here, a little net mount scramble again. Buffalo State, which was a problem for them yesterday against Binghamton, when they get pinned in their own end, that's usually when penalties or goals happen. So Buffalo State maybe dodges one there. Really got to get those pucks out when they had the chance.
They managed to get this one out pretty effectively up ice as Elliott Hunt gains the zone. Tries to get that pass across to the point man. There were a couple of men in the way. Bonnie's eventually getting in the way of that pass and getting it up ice, forcing some pressure now on the Bengals. Bengals, though, get away from that pressure and get it up ice. It's going to be Anton Rupert gloving it down. Tries to make a move. He's got some help coming in late. Shot is taken with a lot on it by Brett Sardina, but making the save is Nick Filipowicz, as it was a hard wrist shot from Brett Sardina coming in late. Not sure that Filipowicz knew he had it the entire time, kind of had it pinned to his side. Eventually held on long enough to get that whistle. Faceoff will be coming up to his left now.
A great rush by Anton Rupert, starting pinching to keep the puck in the zone. Sardina comes in after the puck was dislodged with a great shot. Buffalo State, again, they're working the zone time. They just got to keep those pucks in and get some chances.
Yeah, attempt to play that with the skate there by Cole Newman at the left point. Unsuccessful as it comes out of the zone, now into the Bengals zone. Newman tries to get that one out of the zone, does get it up to Sardina. Sardina trying to settle that one down, does eventually settle it, and he gets it in behind the defender, takes that shot from a tough angle. Save is made by Filipowicz. Didn't have a whole lot to shoot at there, but he did put it into a spot where Filipowicz had to make a tough save.
Yeah, Bengals brought the legs in this period, so that's good. They're pressing and they're testing Filipowicz, and I think it's safe to say he is not going to be the goalie he was yesterday, and we knew that because he is outstanding. So Buffalo State's going to have to flex that offense that we know they can because the goaltender looks like he's feeling real good today.
Bengals offense throwing out the line of Lotempio, Schultz, and Gallivan. Lotempio on the draw, winning it back to Gallivan. And shot is taken there, but it hits the pad of the forward Michael Rappa. And the Bonnies managed to clear the zone, getting it out to center ice. Now Rappa taking a hit there from Gallivan, as clearly number 8 for the Bengals not happy to see his shot getting blocked the moment before. Ends up going and getting a touch of retribution for it. And we'll get an offensive zone faceoff coming up for the Bengals. 17:04 remaining in second period play.
Bengals they're getting the offensive zone faceoffs, which is what they want. They got to get possession and cycle around. There's a quick shot by Gallivan. Maybe you'd like to see some movement around to try to get the goaltender moving and try and set something up here because, Filipowicz is square. You got to get him moving, got to get traffic in front.
Puck comes out of the zone. Gallivan settling it down, getting it back to Ryan Kelly, and accepting a pass back from Kelly. And now the Bengals moving it up ice, dumped into the offensive zone by Cole Newman quickly. Some pressure on that far side as Joe Lotempio's the first one to that puck. A couple of Bengals over there battling against two different Bonnies as Rappa moves it towards the blue line. Just can't get it past the defenseman Ryan Hahn. Now the Bengals look to come in towards the net. Schultz just had a little bit of difficulty settling that one down to get the shot in on goal. He had Joe Lotempio coming in late, and then Lotempio takes a couple of shots up top after the whistle is blown. I'm wondering to see, do we have a call being made here? Yes, it looks like the official from the neutral zone came in and made the call, even though the official that was in the offensive zone there did not. So it's going to be Aiden Jones taking the penalty, and the Bengals get an opportunity here on the power play, and a timely power play at that. There's never really a bad time for a man advantage. In this case, they trail by 2, and we see what they can do with their first man advantage here of the afternoon. Bonnies, though, win the draw, and they send it quickly down the ice, as it is the defenseman Jacob Jackson making sure that one gets all the way back down into Buffalo State territory. Now a little bit of pressure being put on there by TJ Wall, making it that much more difficult for the Bengals to move it up ice. Eventually, they settle it down, carry it through the neutral zone on the stick of Ben Gallivan. Gallivan getting the blue line, drops a pass for Rupert. Rupert adjusts to avoid a couple of men. Now something going on here down low as Guerrera had a really nice look at that one. Tried to beat the goaltender low, but getting the pad on that one was Filipowicz, making the stop and keeping this one a 2-0 game.
What?
Kelly keeps it in on the far side. It looks like it hit him in the shoulder.
That's terrible.
And the linesman here on the near side blew it dead for a hand pass. I don't like that call. I had as good a view of it as he did, and it looked like it was not hand at all.
It was a great play.
Unfortunate break there for the Bengals, but it will be a neutral zone faceoff as played forward right off that draw by Sam Tchaikovsky. Good play there by the Bonnies to kill off a little bit more time here on this penalty. 1:15 remaining in the Bengals power play. Gallivan and Guerrera moving it out of the zone now. It is Gallivan gaining the blue line. He stops just inside of it, drops a pass for Rupert. Now they're going to have to get that puck back, though, as it was Stutz creating a turnover, sending it the length of the ice. The first minute of the penalty has been killed off by the Bonnies. Still 57 seconds remaining in the man advantage.
Oy.
Pass is fanned on, doesn't end up hurting the Bengals at all, just kind of ticking some time away on this power play.
Oy.
That pass is unable to be handled by Schultz in the neutral zone, eventually settled down by Sardina and into the offensive zone. Sardina stumbles a little bit, still manages to get that shot off, but it goes wide. And now it's caught over there by Rupert on the far side. Big slap shot loaded up there by Guerrera. Gets deflected and goes just wide. Now a loose puck here on the near boards, coming back towards the point. Finally cleared the length of the ice. Good play there by Brady Fitzpatrick to get that clear and to send the Bengals back into their own zone. Just 20 seconds remaining on this power play. Very effective kill so far for the Bonnies.
Yeah, I expect nothing less from this defensive team. The Bengals got to start setting up down low, though. That's where they're going to get the pucks to the front of the net. It's not working from the point here.
Rupert carries the puck
That's not doing
around
it
the
either,
net,
though.
ends up giving up control of the puck just here in the circle,
Trip.
and then Miller gets hauled down on the play, and that should just do it for the penalty here as the last 2 seconds of the penalty expire. Jones joins the bench and his teammates on the bench, and the Bengals now try to break it out of the zone. Comes up the far side. Schultz trying to settle it down there. He's got some help over there from Ryan Hahn. Puck is pinned to the boards as the one St. Bonaventure player that's over there isn't actually on his skates. Spina eventually gets up to his feet, takes another hit from Hahn. Eventually, now it comes to Glasgow, and he has a chance to get it out of the zone. Chips it off the boards and then finds possession of it again. Glasgow into the offensive zone with speed, makes a move around the defender. Backhand shot just didn't have a whole lot on it as he had to act quickly from in tight just to make sure he got that shot towards the goaltender. Filipowicz making the save, covering up for a whistle. 13:56 now remaining in the second period. Still that 2-0 lead for the Bonnies.
Great rush there by John Glasgow. Hits the line with speed. Looks like the defender got a stick on the puck right as he was trying to get that backhand up high and under the bar. Really like the aggression Buff State continues to play with here, just pushing the pace. They just got to get the puck to the net.
Shot is blocked again. That's probably about the 9th or 10th shot the Bonnies have blocked here in this game already, as Kernitz tried to go picking a corner there as he fired the shot through the defenseman's legs, just barely missing high. Kernitz now tries to bank it off of the net to start a play in front, but it's going to be Gallivan bringing it up ice for the Bengals. Gets it into the offensive zone, gets around one defenseman, now has it in behind the net. Gallivan circling in the far corner, gets it out front to Lotempio, but another block by St. Bonaventure, keeping that one from getting in on net, and then Lotempio's pass goes well away from both of his defenders and all the way back to A.J. White. Bengals then turn it over again here in the neutral zone, allowing the Bonnies to get it into the Bengals zone, forcing Alex Hussey to go back behind his own net to start the breakout. Hussey looks for a pass, makes a move, and then just feeds it into the neutral zone, sent right back into their zone by Fitzpatrick. Bengals connect on that pass at the blue line as Gallivan circles and now tries to start it up ice. Just flips it into the glove of a St. Bonaventure player. Rappa sending it back into the offensive zone. Now it's Ryan Hahn trying to battle for a loose puck bomb there, but it's Hughes coming out of there with it. Almost got it around the post and out to a man in front. A.J. White getting the stick on that one, keeping that pass from connecting. Bonnie's putting a little bit more pressure on here as they've looked to try to establish a little bit more time, but it's a play through the neutral zone there. Looked like Gallivan might have had a step there on the defenders, had to just kind of work around the linesman. Maybe that was the only thing that slowed that rush down, as the Bengals do have it in the offensive zone, completing a change. Pass in front to Kelly. Great pad save by Filipowicz as Kelly went to the backhand. Filipowicz staying right there with him.
Yeah, that was an outstanding save. That was the best scoring chance of the day for Buffalo State. Ryan Kelly pinching in. Great pad save when he has to get it. Why, what is that?
Bengals turn it over in their own zone again. Hughes now trying to bring it out the near post. Does get that one in front. Finds Uhas with the pass, and he puts it into the net, beating A.J. White glove side. It's now 3-0 St. Bonaventure as they take advantage of another turnover in the Bengals zone, and they open up a 3-goal lead on the Bengals.
Another brutal turnover by a Bengals defenseman right there, holding on to it too much and then panicking when the pressure comes. Puck ends up right to the side of the net before A.J. White even has a chance to know what's going on. The puck's behind him. The Bengals defensemen have just been killing them right now with these turnovers from behind their own net. The goaltender can't even move over to see what's going on because the puck is on the goal line before a Bonnie even touches it.
St. Bonaventure now with a 3-0 lead here in this game, as they are looking to win the UNYCHL Tier 1 championship. As they bring the puck through the neutral zone, player losing a glove and a stick over here along the St. Bonaventure blue line, but the Bonnies keeping it in the zone here. Uhas, the most recent goal scorer, doing some work here on the forecheck up against the near boards, making sure that puck keeps moving in the offensive zone. Bonnie's keeping it in. That could be a glove pass there. It was called properly by the linesman here on the near side, so we're going to have a neutral zone face-off. 11:31 remaining here in this second period. Bonnies are seizing some control of this game. They had a little bit of sustained pressure building up before getting that third goal. See if they can continue to apply that pressure here as we approach the halfway point in the contest.
This was about the time in the Binghamton game yesterday where Buff State found themselves down 4-1 and mounted a furious comeback. We're going to need that again. But the Bengals need to do a better job of moving the puck, and they got to talk. They got to communicate. No one knows who's supposed to get the puck here.
Yeah, in that case there, it was a play back right off the faceoff that the St. Bonaventure player just kind of walked in uncontested with the puck. Like to see just a little bit tighter defense from the Bengals' perspective. Obviously, from the Bonnies' perspective, they want to keep doing what they're doing. That puck is kept in here at the near point. Aiden Jones making sure it didn't cross the blue line. Got a shot in on goal, but it was deflected up and out of play. I think it actually got into the spectator area there behind the protective netting, so a souvenir for one of the fans on hand here today. A great crowd on hand for both games here this weekend, or both days here this weekend. 4 games yesterday and the 2 games today. Really happy to see everyone here at the rink enjoying the UNYCHL playoffs. Obviously, we didn't have these playoffs last year, so it's good to see a back to almost normal type of setup here for the UNYCHL playoffs this year. Bengals getting that puck up ice, getting it across the blue line, but it's offsides as Glasgow did not have the puck as he crossed the blue line. And the linesman on the far side making that proper call, flagging the Bengals for offside. So the faceoff will come right below our broadcast position. We have 10:52 remaining in the second period. St. Bonaventure leading this one by a 3-0 score. They lost both of the matchups against Buffalo State during the regular season, looking to make amends here, and they're well on their way towards doing that almost halfway through this game, and they have a 3-0 lead.
Buffalo State's got to start attacking now. They have nothing else to hold. They got to just start going towards the Bonaventure net. They got to just get the pucks out, and they got to hit it with speed because it's do or die now.
Ryan Miller has the puck on the far side. His pass is intercepted, though. Another turnover forced there by the Bonnies. Bengals force a turnover in return, and now it's Guerrero getting it up ice. John Glasgow with the step on the defender to the backhand. Can't get it past Filipowicz as he covered that one up. And now we have a little bit of a goalmouth scramble as it was Guerrero coming in to try to find that loose puck. Filipowicz had it covered. Guerrero was basically hacking at a covered puck there. Not surprised to see the Bonaventure response to this, as now we're having a little bit of a conversation between one of the officials and number 3 from the Bengals, Michael Guerrero, up here in the top part of the zone. More conversation going on in the lower part of the zone, making sure that all of the defensemen and the goaltender is doing okay after that little exchange. I feel like this is, again, one of those moments where the referees are just trying to make sure that they don't let anything grow here in this game, create any sort of issues. Well, I don't know. There's a little conversation going on between the two benches right now, so maybe it's going to be a little bit too much of an intense affair. This type of matchup is going to just have too much intensity to really be able to put a pin on that one entirely. Bengals a little bit dangerous there with another pass in their own zone. Can't get it out. Now it's an opportunity down low. Spina lets a hard shot go, looking to go high glove. Shoulder save is made by A.J. White. And then a huge hit in behind the net as it's the captain, Joe Lotempio, taking a big hit. This is going to be a penalty coming up against St. Bonaventure. Bengals do get it up ice. Eventually that puck is touched. And we see exactly what this call is going to be here. It was a violent-looking collision there in the St. Bonaventure zone, and it's Jake Spina that took that penalty. We're going to have a conversation between the officials to determine exactly how severely they want to penalize this. This is something we've seen often. Those big hits often are more than just 2 minutes, even though currently there's 2 minutes up on the board.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see, but regardless of what the duration of the power play is going to be, Buff State has to score here. That's the bottom line. They got to get something back. We're halfway through the game. They haven't played bad offensively. They just haven't, just some bad plays on defense below their goal line. You get one back, it'll feel better.
Still waiting to see what this penalty is going to be. This is going to be a major and a game misconduct for Spina.
That's big because Spina's a very, very high intensity, high motor player. Buff State catches a break here. Okay, well, the door's open here.
This is something that we've seen in all phases of hockey throughout this year, is that those violent collisions are often called very severely in ways that we would consider to be way too much of a penalty in past years.
Yes.
It's been very consistent, even though we got frustrated with seeing in some of the games earlier on this season. Referees have been pretty consistent about it. They see a hit like that, they have a conversation, and they determine whether or not it's one of those that qualifies under the new guidelines as a 5-minute major. In this case, they determined it was a 5-minute major and the game misconduct. Bengals, huge opportunity with a major power play here.
Yeah, this is huge right here. We've discussed this. Whether or not anybody likes the rule does not matter. That is the rule, and the refs have to call it that way. The Bengals have a chance to get back into this game, and Bonaventure uncharacteristically makes a big mistake. Buffalo has to capitalize on it in some capacity right here.
Buff State keeping it in there at the point, comes back to the near point where it's going to be Sardina now setting things up. That pass ended up going between two different Buff State players, and the Bonnies managed to clear the zone, send it the length of the rink. Still 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this power play, though, for the Bengals, as it's Ryan Kelly setting up behind his own net. Anton Rupert circles in there with him and now catches that pass, carrying it up the right side of the rink. Bengals gaining the blue line, dumping it in behind the net. Guerrera coming in here on this near side to put some pressure on. Loose puck comes up the boards, comes out to Sardina. He fires a shot, just tried to rip that one in on net quickly, missing the net just barely. Guerrera finds a loose puck now. His shot gets deflected. Good stick in that lane, making sure that shot didn't get on goal. That has to be like the 12th or 13th block so far from St. Bonaventure. They have been excellent in their own zone, making sure they stop as many shots as possible before their goaltender has to.
Yeah, this is a Jay McKee special right here by Bonaventure. Just everybody, they're getting in the lane, and they're sacrificing their bodies right now. I mean, these Bonnies want this one bad. It's as bad as Buff State does as well, but they are just laying out, just getting in shooting lanes. Nice save.
Shot taken there right off the draw from the top of the circle. Ryan Miller getting a lot on it, basically putting it where he had to have wanted to there, just inside the post, but a good sprawling glove save made by Filipowicz. Still 4:08 remaining in this power play for the Bengals. Puck comes up in the air, sitting in the slot. Eventually Rappa finds it, gets the clear, sending it back down into Bengals territory. Now Rappa putting some pressure on. He's going to be the first one to this puck in the Bengals zone. Glasgow coming back to put some pressure on him. Rappa doing some good work. Almost drew a penalty there. I think he had a case there as one of his teammates was trying to lobby for that one as well. Though the Bengals do manage to get it into the offensive zone now. Glasgow setting up the power play. Shots taken from the point. Not a whole lot on it, though, and it was blocked on its way through.
He was out.
And that one comes back to the blue line. Hahn trying to keep it into the blue line, just unable to do so. So we're going to get another offsides call made. 3:37 remaining in the Bengals power play as we are beyond the halfway point in the game. 8 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the second.
Buffalo State, they're getting zone time, but the shots are getting blocked, but they have to just continue doing what they're doing. I honestly... I don't know how this is going to sound, but if St. Bonaventure's blocking the shot, so if they're going to get in the way, you just got to wind up and let her rip. I mean, at this point, they're not afraid to get in the way, so you got to try to either overpower it or you just got to keep moving the puck and try to hit those one-timers. I mean, Buff State's got to get pucks to the net right now. Hard enough to beat Filipowicz on a regular day. If you're having trouble getting pucks to him at all, you're just in trouble right now, especially down 3.
Puck is scrambled here just inside the Buff State blue line. Good work there in the penalty kill as it's number 5, James Johnson, in there putting pressure on both of the Bengals players, trying to kill off as much time as possible as he can. 3 minutes left on that St. Bonaventure major penalty as Ben Gallivan gets it into the offensive zone, tries to do a lot there himself, but 2 different St. Bonaventure players see that coming, converge on him, and they manage to get the clear. Now 2:45 to go in the major.
Yeah, it's pretty clear Bonaventure remembers who has hurt them because Ryan Hahn is getting just abused by forecheckers right now, forcing him to get rid of the puck. And Bonaventure, there's a game plan in place to try and neutralize Ben Gallivan. I mean, you can't stop him, but when he has the puck, 4 of the 5 guys are watching everything he does. I mean, someone's going to be open. Ben really would be wise to start taking a look when he carries those pucks, see if he can catch somebody streaking down the side.
Another face-off won by St. Bonaventure as they have done an excellent job here on this penalty kill. A.J. White again staying in the net. It's the second clearing attempt that he didn't come out and play as there was a St. Bonaventure player coming quickly in for it, putting a little bit of pressure on. Now eventually the Bengals get the zone. Rupert trying to do it himself there and take that shot as he carried it into the zone up the right side himself. Good save is made by Filipowicz on that one. Rupert again with the puck here at the top of the circle. Lays it down low to Guerrera, and Guerrera carries it towards the point, circling in towards the middle of the ice. Now he makes a pass across to Rupert. Rupert, though, can't handle that one after it bounces off the backboards. Now an opportunity for a breakaway. Again, White stays in his net, and Rappa gets it past him, but just catching a piece of it was the right pad of A.J. White, making the save, stopping that breakaway opportunity. Bengals now looking to come back in the other direction in a hurry. Winding up with that slap shot is Sardina. High and wide, though. It actually gets a good bounce for the Bengals. Out in front to Rupert. He misses the net wide, though. Bengals got to start hitting the cage here if they're going to take advantage of this power play. They've been winding up for some shots, but none of them are hitting the net. I don't think they have a shot on goal yet in this power play.
There's one.
That one's on goal. Shot is made. Redirection in front of the net by Sardina. Changes directions, goes from about knee height to the skate height, and a great save by Filipowicz. He has not only been on his normal game today, he might be actually standing on his head and playing above his normal level.
Yeah, that game yesterday definitely bothered him, and he is not about to let that happen again. And that's tough news for the Bengals because, what a save.
Glasgow, great work there to get himself free and to let a shot go. Save is made again by Filipowicz. As now we have a whistle being called as the puck is played with a high stick. I didn't see that one, see which Bengal player did that.
I think it was Glasgow, but do not quote me on that.
All right, face-off will come back down below our broadcast position. Still a minute 23 remaining on this major penalty. Bengals, though, really haven't gained much of anything in way of momentum from it. In fact, I would say that St. Bonaventure has just taken more momentum in this game from this penalty kill so far. Still a little bit more than a minute and change remaining in it as another loose puck is created by St. Bonaventure. Tchaikovsky, great work there on that far side, driving Zach Schultz into the boards, forcing him to give that puck away and allowing another clear there for the Bonnies.
They're getting way too lax with these defensive zone passes right now. That's how they've been beaten, just throwing the puck carelessly through the middle of the ice.
This pass connects finally for the Bengals, and it's Lotempio into the offensive zone, shoots a shot through a little bit of a screen, but a blocker save is made by Filipowicz, and it's one and done on that charge up the ice for the Bengals. Bonnies get the clear. Now just 40 seconds remaining on that major penalty. This is going to be something that, unless the Bengals can at least develop some chances here in these last few moments of it, Bonnies are just going to carry more momentum forward that they already had here in this second period.
They're clogging the neutral zone. The play here is to chip it and chase it down, but they're just walking right into it. This feels just like the 2020 title game, where they're just getting stuffed in the neutral zone and then sent back the other way.
Bengals finally gain the blue line. Shot taken there by Glasgow from a tough angle. Pad save is made by the netminder Filipowicz, just barely getting the left toe on that one to keep it out. And a little bit of a sloppy change from the Bengals ends up resulting in an icing on the play. And
that's terrible because he was nowhere near the red line. But
this game is going about as well as can be expected from the St. Bonaventure perspective. They got out to the early lead. They've established their defensive zone presence. They haven't made many mistakes, and they just forced a lot of mistakes from the Bengals on their side.
Yeah, Buff State has been their own worst enemy right here. Bonaventure's just kind of, gesturing them towards those mistakes. I mean, Bengals got to get some zone. Well, they got to get actual zone time. I mean, gaining the line, taking a shot, and retreating is not zone time. They got to get the goaltender moving. They got to get traffic in front. They got to get second opportunities. Every shot is a save and a clear. That's not going to work on Filipowicz, as we know. I mean, especially because it happened to him yesterday. You can't expect two games like that from him. And as we see on the scoreboard, that's the case today.
I think, as you mentioned earlier on in this frame, it's one of those games where they have to be a little bit more patient and poised, but it's going to be another opportunity in tight. Mason Mago trying for that backhand wraparound. That ends up being cleared by the Bengals quickly, but they can't even get it into the offensive zone more than a couple of steps, and the converging defense from the Bonnies forcing another turnover, forcing it through the neutral zone, and they get it all the way to the Buff State blue line. Can't get it in, though, as Elliott Hunt takes that one away, takes a hit there in the neutral zone, as the Bonnies, again, doing really good work in the center ice area. They have definitely been the better team in the middle of the rink, and that's why they have this 3-0 advantage, is the work that they're doing right in front of us in the middle of the rink. Bengals now have a chance to get it up ice. Sardina into the offensive zone. He has a man with him. Pass, though, ends up on a stick of a St. Bonaventure player as they clear the zone, getting it out through the neutral zone back into Buffalo State territory. 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the second period as the Bengals again turn the puck over in the neutral zone. St. Bonaventure just doing an excellent job with that neutral zone presence, making things very difficult for the Bengals, forcing turnover after turnover, whether or not it's in the neutral zone or in the Bengals' end. Shot is taken there from the left point as Stutz let that one go. Came right through the goal crease. I'm not sure A.J. White knew where that one was as it went right in front of him. Dangerous moment there for the Bengals as St. Bonaventure almost had a chance to open up a 4-goal lead. Eventually the Bengals do get the benefit of a whistle, and it's a penalty being called against the Bengals, and it's Cole Newman taking the penalty. Number 29 heads to the box with 3:36 to go in the second period. At a point in the game where St. Bonaventure has all the momentum, they have a chance to gain even more of it here with a power play. And the Bengals penalty killers are going to be tested here, as it is a powerful unit that they throw out here for this man advantage. We certainly saw them last week in the quarterfinal game. They scored 2 of their 3 goals against Niagara on the power play. This is a group that has to be respected when they have the man advantage.
Yep, in Buffalo State, though, they do have a penchant for scoring shorthanded goals. You got to think they're going to try to get one here.
Guerrero now looking to create something as he just couldn't dig that puck out of his own skates. Does have a little bit of support from Miller coming in on the play. Miller gets it deep into the zone, but then is taken off of that puck, and now Aiden Jones back in the other direction. Gets it up to Hughes, last night's hero in overtime. Hughes dumps it into the offensive zone, setting up some pressure there on the far side. Gets it back to Fitzpatrick. There's a shot block for the Bengals, as it was John Glasgow getting into that shooting lane. But Bonnie's keeping it here in the zone with 1:23 to go in their power play. A little bit casual there on the far side. It ends up coming back out to center ice, but it's going to be Fitzpatrick coming back for it. Connecting on a pass, moving that one up ice. Joe Lotempio, though, gets in the way, intercepting a pass, sending it all the way back down into the Bonnie zone. 1:08 now remaining on the penalty to Cole Newman. Michael Guerrero walks in from his point position, fires a shot in towards the goal. It goes high and wide. Rebound opportunity. That shot came in from the right point. Ryan Hahn's shot hit the pad of the goaltender, Filipowicz. Then it came up into the air. Filipowicz pins it to his right arm with the catching glove. And the rebound opportunity isn't there for the Bengals. But a little bit of good work there in the offensive zone while killing that penalty.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron, I'm not trying to be funny or sarcastic or blunt or anything, but that was a better chance there than they had on a 5-minute power play. I mean, take momentum how you can get it, though. I mean, the Bengals' penalty kill is dangerous from a scoring standpoint. Got to get momentum somehow. Might as well try in the penalty kill while you're out there.
48 seconds remaining in this power play for St. Bonaventure. You have to wonder whether or not the first minute of the way this man advantage has gone will affect how they attack the rest of this power play. They do get it into the offensive zone here, set up a pass in behind the net. Mason Mago has it, and he carries it out towards the corner. Carrying it now towards the point as he's got Schultz on him. Manages to get away from Schultz. Lets a shot go. Pad save made by A.J. White.
Net's off.
Net is off again
Because
as we continue to remark about here at the rink, and it's been going on for both of the games today. We saw several of those moments yesterday as well. And again, they just hope it stays in place without doing anything to make sure it does. Face-off coming up to the glove hand side of A.J. White.
Yep, and the Bengals doing a really good job on this penalty kill. Granted, they have to focus on offense, even on the penalty kill. Granted, not at the cost of responsibility on their own end, like this.
Dangerous play in front of the net. Perfect chance.
Game's over if he doesn't make
Wide
that save.
open. Ray Werner there just couldn't get that backhand off as he was being tied up trying to let that one go. Had plenty of net to shoot at. Good break there for the Bengals. That one didn't end up in the net. Now 8 seconds remaining in the penalty to Cole Newman as Mason Mago goes back into his own zone. His pass doesn't connect here in the neutral zone. Joe Lotempio is sending it back into the Bonnie zone. That should do it for the Bengals penalty. As a minute 30 now remaining here in second period play. Sees Jack Kernitz now getting that puck up ice, losing control of it here at the center ice dot. And now it comes out to Zach Schultz along the St. Bonaventure blue line. He gains control of it, carries it into the offensive zone, tries to get that shot through. Another block by the St. Bonaventure defender there as they have a countless number of shot blocks so far today. It's been a big part of their reason why they're being successful. And again, we see the net coming off here in the offensive zone, ruining what could have been an offensive zone opportunity for the Bengals. And my frustration level with these nets continues to grow. Actually, the frustration level isn't with the nets.
It's with those who won't make them not do that.
You can take one quick step to make sure that net stays in place. You just grab that water bottle from the back of the net and spray some at the base of the post.
I mean, it's not like the surface you're playing on isn't water. I don't know why you can't do that. I don't know why no one's thought of it.
Maybe the officials like the break. I have no idea.
Well,
player gets taken down there on the far side, and it looks like this is going to be a penalty coming up.
Be nice if it was Mago.
And I can't tell who it's going to quite yet, as eventually Mason Mago heads towards the penalty box, and this is going to be a St. Bonaventure penalty and an opportunity for the Bengals on the power play as we are under a minute to go in the second period. The Bengals trailing this one by a 3-0 score. St. Bonaventure well in control of this one, and it might take one of these power play opportunities for the Bengals to start chipping away at that lead. Bonaventure's been excellent, though, on the penalty kill, blocking shots numerous times, getting all the clears that they need to. See exactly how this power play goes for the Bengals as we continue now with that puck in that far corner. So far, it's been St. Bonaventure doing what they've done on the rest of those penalty kills there tonight. Brady Fitzpatrick doing excellent work down low to gain that control of that loose puck and send it the length of the ice, forcing Ryan Hahn to skate it up the far side. He does so and gets it into the offensive zone. Circles it in front of the net. Pass is made right onto the stick of Joe Lotempio. He quickly gets that shot in on the goaltender, but a pretty glove save made by Nick Filipowicz, keeping this one a 3-0 game, robbing the Bengals captain of what would have been a pretty setup there in front of the net.
Yeah, Filipowicz, he has been spectacular, as have the Bonnies in general, but he's made the saves, and Buff State had a few chances to get back into this, and he's come up huge for them. He took yesterday's game personally, I can tell you that right now. He's coming in focused and coming in playing hard. Bengals have their work cut out for them trying to come back from this deficit.
16 seconds left in the period as Zach Schultz fires a shot in towards the net. Filipowicz leaning towards the front of his crease as he had a screen in front of him. It goes into pretty much a vacant spot of the net on the near side. Zach Schultz has the Bengals on the board with 13 seconds to go in the second period. What looked to be a pretty pedestrian-looking play ends up being the first goal of the game against Filipowicz. The Bengals are on the board. They have a little bit of life with a power play goal.
Aaron, I almost made it the entire broadcast without saying how important goals at the end of periods are, but then right as we were about to get out of here scot-free with it, Zach Schultz gets one with 13.6 seconds left. Bengals, this is a huge 14 seconds right here. Oh.
Hughes with the shot right on goal. Maybe could have taken a little bit more time. Realized that the clock was ticking down, but not that quickly. Just kind of fired that shot as quickly as he possibly settled it down. Save was made by A.J. White. Still 8 seconds to go in the period. And an offensive zone draw coming up here for the Bonnies.
This is huge for Buffalo State. They cannot allow a goal here, Aaron. They just straight up cannot. And Bonaventure's trying to get one here. Glasgow does a great job winning it to the corner, and they're going to get it out, and they're
maybe a last-second shot for Sardina. Just couldn't quite settle it down as it comes into the offensive zone. The horn goes this time to actually signal the end of the period. That's a relief, as a couple of players were maybe tied up there over there on the far side. And that's the way that period number 2 comes to a close, but it is a late goal for the Bengals that gives them just a little bit of life here in this contest. They were looking like they were getting kind of pushed around, and it was the Bonnies doing pretty much as they wanted to throughout this contest. A lot of really good shot blocks. That's kind of been the hallmark of this lead so far from St. Bonaventure. They've taken advantage of their chances, and they've been really good in their own zone, getting in the way, collapsing defensively in the middle of the ice, making sure that they keep as many of those shots from getting in on their goaltender as possible. Filipowicz, when he's been asked to, he's been excellent.
Yeah, Filipowicz has been spectacular. The Bonnies have been spectacular defensively as well, but when you play a team that has the offensive firepower that the Buffalo State Bengals have, great defense isn't going to do much for you if you don't have great goaltending, and St. Bonaventure has both today. Buffalo State gets a massive goal to end that period. 2 goals, so much less daunting than the 3, obviously goes without saying there. Buffalo State, they're in this, but they need to come out strong. You want to see them get a goal as early as possible so they can stick to their game versus take unnecessary chances. An adjustment that was made is Michael Guerrero has been moved back to defense. Maybe to help out on the back end a little bit. They've struggled mightily back there, Aaron. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. You know, a mistake by a defenseman has led to all 3 goals today. The Bengals have their work cut out for them. They cannot afford any more of that, and they're going to need to probably attempt 25 shots just with the way the Bonnies are blocking shots. I can only imagine that box in front of the net is going to condense even more in this 3rd period.
It's a 3-1 score after 2 periods of play. St. Bonaventure in the lead in the UNYCHL championship game. 20 minutes still to go here in regulation, and we'll be back at the end of this short intermission with the final 20 minutes of play here from the North Buffalo Ice Rink. And welcome back to the North Buffalo Ice Rink as we get ready for third period play in our UNYCHL Championship matchup. It is the St. Bonaventure Bonnies and the Buffalo State Bengals squaring off for a third time this year. This time it is with the league title at stake. After 40 minutes of play, it is the Bonnies with the lead by a 3-1 count. The Bengals, though, got a late goal in that second period to get on the board, making this a 2-goal game to start period number 3. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern, along for the call of today's game, alongside color commentator Sean McHugh, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski, ready to get things going here for period number 3, and that late goal for the Bengals there in the second period really set the stage for a lot of drama here in the third.
Absolutely, Aaron. Bonaventure had every ounce of momentum and then a little bit of extra on top of it until Buffalo State was finally able to break through with just 13 seconds left in the first period. A 2-goal lead, not impossible, not daunting, but you got to get to work quick because you are playing an elite defensive team in the St. Bonaventure Bonnies.
And we are underway now in third period play as the puck comes back into the Buffalo State zone. Comes up to Zach Schultz, the goal scorer for the Bengals there late in the second period. Puck comes back across the Buff State blue line, settled down by the defenseman Ryan Hahn. Hahn now looking for a pass up ice. He gets it to Gallivan along his own blue line. Now back to Guerrero, who's playing some defense for the Bengals late. Guerrero into the offensive zone, tries to fire a shot in himself. I think it caught a little bit of the crossbar before going off the back glass. And the Bonaventure Bonnies get it up ice. It's going to be Kernitz here in the neutral zone. Tries to make a move around one man. Good play there as covering on defense was Ben Gallivan, making sure that second move didn't get past him.
Yeah, forward caught back on D. That's usually trouble when the other forward hits the line with speed. Gallivan does a great job dropping to his knees and making sure that move doesn't finish and gets in alone on the goaltender.
Yeah, it looked like the first move had actually gotten the man free around Ryan Hahn, but it was Gallivan recovering and helping his man out. Bengals now into the offensive zone. Shot is blocked as Glasgow let that one through. Bonnies clear the zone, getting it back into Buffalo State territory. Alex Hussey going back for it behind his own net. Hussey with a backhand pass up the near side, gets it to Anton Rupert. Then Rupert goes high with that one up into the ceiling of the building again. And we have a stoppage in play as some debris comes fluttering from the padded ceiling here just to the left of where we are in our broadcast spot. Face-off will be coming up in the Bengals zone to the blocker hand side of A.J. White.
Well, the Bengals definitely came out with an aggressive mindset. I mean, Michael Guerrero's like, oh boy.
Connor Uhas with an opportunity right off that face-off as the puck came right to him. Nobody tied him up off the draw. He had a good look from the bottom of the circle. Save was made on that play back into Buffalo State territory. Hussey moving it up ice, but sent right back in on goal as T.J. Wall just found that loose puck and fired it right in on White. Hussey now up this near side. A little casual with that pass as well. Creates another turnover. Now it's an opportunity for O'Brien to try to center something from in behind the net. His pass hit the back of the net. Bengals eventually find control of it. And it's going to be Anton Rupert doing a little bit of stick handling in tight spaces there just to give himself enough room to carry it out of the zone. He does so here. Takes a little bit of a bump in the neutral zone. And it's the Bonnies finding possession of it, setting things up in their own end. Aiden Jones, pass up ice. He's got Hughes. Hughes then connects on a pass to Rappa. Actually, Rappa just missing that one. As now it's Guerrero looking to get it up ice for the Bengals. Good play by Hughes to knock that one out of midair. Hughes now in towards the net, tries to go short side, as just getting a piece of that one was A.J. White, keeping that one from getting by him and keeping this one a 3-1 game.
Yep, Bengals got a little caught there, so again, defensively below their own goal line, just a little too casual with the puck, leads to a turnover and another great scoring chance. A.J. White makes this, be careful.
Bengals with a slow change there, don't get penalized for it. But the player coming onto the ice, not really sure where the puck was when he finally got there. Now it's deep in the Bengals zone. Michael Guerrero forcing a turnover, looking to start it up ice. He's got a man here in the neutral zone, tries to get it up to Miller, just unable to connect on that pass. It's sent right back into Buffalo State territory. As we come up on 17 minutes to go in the period. Pass was failed to be connected on here in the neutral zone. Alex Gosen unable to handle that one. Finally sent in by Ryan Hahn as the Bengals look to create a little bit of pressure here in the offensive zone. They're unable to do so, though, as quickly sending it out and all the way back down to Buffalo State territory is David Stutz.
Yep, that's what Bonaventure's going to try to do, just make the Bengals go 200 feet the rest of the game. That's the strategy when you have a lead, especially when you can play D in the neutral zone and in your own end, of course, the way St. Bonaventure can.
Bonaventure into the offensive zone. It's T.J. Wall with the puck on his stick, tries to make a move around Ryan Hahn. Hahn getting the better of that one. Can't connect on a pass to Alex Hussey, though, or Alex Gosen here on the near side, and a shot's taken, rebounds there, and it's put home. Number 10, Ray Werner, getting the goal that may be the deciding one here in this one. It's a 3-goal lead again for the St. Bonaventure Bonnies, and the Bengals again getting penalized for not being able to get the puck out of their own end, and it ends up in front of their net. The rebound opportunity put home by number 10, Ray Werner, and it's the St. Bonaventure fourth line that has their 4th goal tonight.
Once again, the Bonaventure defense cannot get the puck out of their own end and sustain pressure. That 4th line, man, I don't even like calling them a 4th line because of the stigma the game of hockey has on that term. But, another defensive turnover. They're getting killed by this today, Aaron.
At least they got the block afterwards. It was the same player who turned the puck over there, Alex Hussey, making the errant pass in the neutral zone. Got the stick on it here in his own zone to keep that shot from getting in on goal. Deflected up into the protective netting. 16-17 to go here in third period play. Bengals are going to have to find a response here if they're going to get back into this game, as it's the Bonnies making things more and more difficult for the Bengals here as they continue to put pressure on here in the offensive zone, now up by a score of 4-1.
Yeah, Bengals, they need their stars to come out here, and here's one of them who's got to start, who's got to get to work right now.
Gallivan into the offensive zone, losing control of it as Marsh gives him a poke check. Two of them collide there in the corner as Marsh continues to go at Gallivan, and the loose puck comes through the neutral zone, sent all the way back down into Buffalo State territory. Going to be an icing on this play, however, so the Bengals will get that offensive zone draw coming up as we are under 16 minutes to go in third period play. It is a 3-goal lead for St. Bonaventure in the UNYCHL title game.
Coach Turner, Coach Shevchak, and Coach Krebs have to pull out all the stops right here, and they know that anything you have in your bag of tricks and anything you can think of right now has to come out. You're down 3, your offense is capable of doing this, but you're up against probably one of the best defensive teams you're going to see all year. Puck's got to get on net like this. You just got to get everything, just shoot from everywhere.
Bengals getting 2 shots in on goal. The first one coming from the left point by Guerrera, then Sardina with the second shot on goal. 2 saves made by Filipowicz. Bengals keep it moving in the offensive zone. Sardina on the far side now, cycles it down low to Glasgow, then takes a hit from Tchaikovsky. Glasgow makes sure it keeps moving in the offensive zone, and now it's going to be Sardina finding a loose puck in behind the net, tries to feed a pass down low even further to Anton Rupert. Now has some help over here from Ryan Hahn, just couldn't quite get that one to Rupert, and now it's Glasgow in front of the net, pass out to Rupert, and he gets hauled down, can't get that shot in on goal as he was tied up by Mason Mego. Shot ended up hitting the side of the net. Bengals keep it in though. Sardina spinning a backhand pass down low. Guerrera's shot from the mid-circle right into the shoulder of Filipowicz. He holds on to make the save and get a whistle. Both teams are going to make some changes here as we are now under 15 minutes to go in the third period.
All right, good response by Buffalo State in terms of zone time and shots, and they just got to keep doing this and just do it until either their legs fall off or they can get this thing tied. Everything to the net, and it's to the point where you got to start letting defensemen pinch. Hahn's got to get off the ice.
Slow change going on here for the Bengals, but they get possession right off the draw, almost getting a shot in from the mid-slot, but fanning on that was Elliot Hunt. Now a shot from the point. That one's blocked again, as it's been a story of the game throughout. St. Bonaventure getting in those shooting lanes, sacrificing the body to make sure shots don't get in on their netminder.
Yeah, and that's going to make life miserable for the Bengals for this third period, because now with a 3-goal lead, Bonaventure has absolutely no reason to. Granted, you know what? They're going to press. I'm just going to not even bother with that point because they have 3 guys in on the forecheck right there.
Puck comes up in the air. It might have hit a little bit of the protective netting, but no whistle is blown. And the puck keeps moving here on the near side. Alex Gosen getting it out of the zone, getting it up to Elliot Hunt. Hunt then can't connect on that pass in the neutral zone. Is a good defensive play as getting back into position was TJ Wall there, getting the stick in the passing lane, creating that much more difficulty for the Bengals to get it up ice. They'd only got it about halfway up ice in that first attempt. Now they have it into the offensive zone, but it was a...
what are you doing? Unnecessary.
Yeah, Ryan Miller with a little bit of a snow job on the goaltender Filipowicz. Gets a brief talking to by a couple of the St. Bonaventure players.
They were smarter than that, though. They didn't engage.
Yeah, other teams maybe that don't have as much discipline might have gone back after Miller there and taken the bait and maybe taken a penalty there. Bonaventure just goes and does exactly what they need to do. Deliver the message, and that's about it.
And that doesn't make anybody look good when you do that. There was no need for that. You could see it coming a mile away. We don't need that right now. It's been a well-played, clean hockey game. We got to keep it that way. That's what this is all about. Like, don't start anything like that now.
Face-off here in the offensive zone for the Bengals. Shot is taken. A little bit of difficulty handling that one from Filipowicz as he got the glove on it, but it was an awkward glove save off that shot by Gallivan. as it comes now down back into the Buffalo State territory, played forward by the defenseman, by the goaltender A.J. White. And then we have a Bengals penalty coming up here. It's going to be a check from behind against Cholo Tempio right in front of our broadcast position. This one could be a severe penalty here, as it was a violent-looking collision, and now we have a conversation going on with the officials.
He's going to get it, I think.
This one could be the nail in the coffin here, depending on how they call this penalty. Tempio gets in. That's a short conversation, so just 2 minutes.
If I'm Bonaventure, I'm not thrilled with that because their guy Spina got tossed for that, but I digress. I'm not a ref. I don't want to be a ref, but so it's a penalty kill for Buffalo State. This is huge right here. It's huge. I don't know why it's huge, but it is.
Well, you can't go down by 4 goals here. You're not going to come back with 10 minutes to go if you're down by 4. 3 goals is not insurmountable. Difficult for certain, especially with as tight as St. Bonaventure is playing defensively. Certainly have to kill off this penalty is the first thing from the Bengals' perspective. They might want to try to create a little bit of offense with it as well. It was something that they did well early in the season. They had a little run there where they scored a bunch of shorthanded goals right at the start of the season. Hasn't happened as much in the second half. Could be a good time to go back to that well one more time.
At this point, you have to. At this point, once the puck comes into the neutral, if the Bengals can get possession of the puck, go in with 3. You don't really have a choice. I mean, I think you want to risk a scoring chance to try to have one. Or
shot is taken from the point. Mason Mego gets it through the crowd. Might have gotten deflected on the way there. Either way, it's a power play goal and a 5-1 lead for St. Bonaventure. They are firmly in control of this one now.
Yeah, they have taken the game and they've ripped it right out of the teeth of the Bengals. The Bengals have to pull some magic out of their hats now if they're going to get this done. If any team can do it, it's Buffalo State. They average 5 goals a game. They're down. They've allowed 5. But a team that plays D like Bonaventure, to say your work is cut out for you is a massive understatement.
See what sort of response we might see from the Bengals. They don't have enough players out there right now as they're missing a forward. Eventually, John Glasgow hops over the boards and joins the rush, as it's going to be Glasgow, Hunt, and Alex Gosen on for this faceoff against that 4th line we've been talking about from the Bonnies. They're into the offensive zone again. Ray Werner with a goal already here today as he gets that shot in on the goaltender, kind of a fluttering shot handled by the glove of A.J. White, and he'll hold on for a whistle. 13-10 now remaining here in regulation. It's a 4-goal lead for the Bonnies, 5-1.
Yeah, and the Riley Rowdies, as they're known, well, they were until Coach Schmidt was there. They're behind the bench, and they're giving it to A.J. White right now. So, the Bona fans, they're on their feet right now. Their fan base travels like a flock here, and they're all around the rink, and they're up in here. So they're having a great time. Buffalo State's got to respond. They have to do something here.
Bengals trying to create a turnover there deep in the offensive zone. Rupert created a loose puck, just unable to manage something there with Elliott Hunt coming in on the play. Puck is thrown into the Bengals zone. This one will be from the St. Bonaventure side of the red line, so it will be an icing call. And we have 12:45 left to go in regulation. The time is getting to the point where the Bengals have to start ratcheting up that desperation if they're going to have any chance to get back into this one. I expect just more of the same from the Bonnies, maybe even a little tighter defensively.
Yeah, I mean, the Bonnies, they really want to. They can kind of forego any sort of forecheck other than one guy just to provide token pressure because the way they play defense, it's just the clock is their best friend right now.
Shot is taken there as Brett Sardina pulls it out from behind the net. He misses the net, however, with that shot off the tough angle. Back into the Bengals zone now. It's going to be Cole Newman starting it up ice. Newman trying to go near side. His pass, though, is deflected away by T.J. Wall. Another good stick in a passing lane for the Bonnies. And the shot coming in right on goal from Sobko. Difficult save had to be made there by A.J. White. Got a stick and pad on it to make that stop. And then the Bengals send it all the way back down into St. Bonaventure territory. So we're going to have an icing on the play. And the faceoff will come back down into Bengals territory, as it's a pretty commanding lead here right now for the Bonnies. And they're not showing much in terms of chinks in the armor there, giving the Bengals any sort of chance to get back into this one.
No, and you can tell the Bonnies have great respect for the Bengals as well, because they're not going to try to sit on this lead just knowing what offense they are up against right here. They are going to attack, it looks like, because as great of the defense as they play, their forecheck has caused all kinds of issues for the Bengals. Like, wait, they're going to get out here. No, they're not.
Hunt's pass attempt there doesn't get out of the zone. Rappa keeping it in. That shot hits a man in front of the net. It was just going towards the corner, but it hit Cole Newman in the shoulder, almost right in on goal. Kind of lucky that ended up going just wide because the netminder A.J. White was leaning in the wrong direction. 11:45 to go in the third period. Centering pass from St. Bonaventure doesn't connect in front of the net. Now the Bengals going to have a chance to get it up. Owen Hughes, though, great play, though, making sure that pass didn't connect. Cole Newman, though, coming into the play quickly, trying to get that rush up the ice. His shot hits a skate on its way through. Yet another block for the Bonnies here, as it's starting to sound like a broken record, as St. Bonaventure just getting into passing lanes, or shooting lanes and passing lanes, rather. Blocking shots, blocking passes, and it has been a defensive clinic from the team in brown and white here so far.
Yes, it sure has. And again, this is not just any offense. This is one of the best offenses in the UNYCHL that has been pretty much clamped down upon for most of this game. Very impressive display. You can tell the Bonnies knew that they lost to this team and only this team this year, and they wanted to right those wrongs, and they have done a whale of a job, just righting those wrongs, playing great hockey.
And starting to get to the point in the game in which the Bengals are running out of opportunities to get back into it. It's a 4-goal game, 11 minutes and change to go. That next one's going to have to come quickly from Buffalo State if they have any hope of getting back into this one. St. Bonaventure, though, not giving them a whole lot of room to feel like they have any hope. Every time they get the opportunity to, they get that puck out of the zone, and then they make things more and more difficult for the Bengals to get it in the zone. Again, making things difficult along the blue line there, forcing the offsides. Faceoff will come just outside of the St. Bonaventure blue line with 10:56 now left in the period.
Yeah, it's desperation time. We're halfway through the third, and you're down a lot here. You're going to need 20 shots on goal if you're going to have a shot at getting 4 on Filipowicz, and I don't even know if that's going to be enough the way he's been playing right now. And I don't want to sound negative. I'm more talking about St. Bonaventure has played an absolute defensive masterpiece.
And really, yeah, the only goal that the Bengals got was a little bit of a gift. The fact that Filipowicz misread the play, was leaning towards the middle of the net when the shot came short side. Not a goal that I was expecting him to give up in the moment. And really, that's all the Bengals have been able to get on him. He's been very solid every time he's been asked to make a save, and his team in front of him has been excellent.
Yes, they've been outstanding with speed and just defensive pressure and one-and-dones here. I mean, they have frustrated this Bengals offense. They learned something from this team when they made that furious comeback back in the first semester, and they were not about to let the Buffalo State Bengals put on a show offensively again. In fact, they straight up canceled the show. It's kind of like the ending of MASH, it's just over with.
A little more than 10 minutes to go now in the third period, as it's another defensive zone draw coming up here for the Bengals. The clamps are down pretty securely here from St. Bonaventure. I would be surprised if you see them with any casual plays or any kind of mistakes with the puck here. It's going to have to be earned if the Bengals are going to come back into this game, and it's going to have to be some really hard work in order to make that happen. Puck sent into the Bengals zone. Jeff Hyde trying to start the breakout, but it is kept in by TJ Wall. In the skates of Ryan Miller, he finds possession of it, gets it out into the neutral zone, but it's going to be Mitchell Marsh sending it right back into the offensive zone as we approach 10 minutes to go in regulation. Hyde in the far corner, losing control of that one. Juhas tries to get a pass out in front, but it's going to be Anton Rupert getting in the way there. Now Sardina trying to get that pass up ice. He had Ryan Miller streaking through the neutral zone, but a good play by the defensive stick. Brady Fitzpatrick making sure that pass didn't connect for a long streaking play through the neutral zone. Bengals, though, find possession here at center ice. Sardina makes a move around the blue line, but he still had to wait for Anton Rupert to clear the zone. Ends up in an offsides call and then a collision between the one St. Bonaventure player and the two Buffalo State players. Kind of tells you a little bit about how this game has gone from the Bengals' perspective. It's been that kind of frustrating evening where an opportunity to drive it into the zone with speed, you don't even realize that your guy's in there. It's just kind of been that story from start to finish.
Yeah, it's been, the desperation by the Bengals is just going to be met by a brick wall right now. They need to get some zone time, and they just can't seem to do that. They can't even get the puck through the neutral zone, so right here.
Good keep by Anton Rupert. Fires a shot in on goal. Might have hit his own teammate there in front of the net. Now back to the point. Carrera fires a hard slap shot. That one got redirected late and went just wide on that far side. Bonaventure clearing it nicely into the neutral zone. A really good play there by Ryan Hahn because there was a player behind him in the neutral zone, making sure that pass didn't get past him. Guerrera now into the offensive end, tries to make a cross-ice pass, just missing Schultz with that one. And now it's going to be O'Donohue moving it forward into the neutral zone, getting a little bit of help from a teammate, dumped in on goal, as it was Johnson doing the rest of the work to make sure it got into the offensive zone. 8:55 now remaining as we get another whistle and another draw coming up deep in Buffalo State territory.
Yeah, time's a wasting for the Buffalo State Bengals, and St. Bonaventure is doing everything they want to do defensively right now. Bengals are taking shots From outside, Filipowicz, as long as he sees them, is probably going to make the saves, barring a crazy bounce or a crazy lean again. Bengals have to up the speed, and they have to up the pressure. The problem is that plays right into what Bonaventure wants you to do, because you're going to go in with four players and leaving one defenseman back. So when you have the puck, there's a wide open wing to just shoot the puck out, to casually launch it down and avoid icing.
Gallivan into the offensive zone for the Bengals, makes a move around Stutz, keeps possession of it, tries to feed it out in front, just kind of hits the side of the net before it could get there. And that allows Bonnies to come up with possession, getting it back to the point. Shot is taken there right through a screen, redirected late by Schultz, but I think it just barely went wide. Joe Lotempio making a good play there on the far side to keep that puck from getting past him. Now in a scramble for a loose puck against 3 different Bonaventure players. Eventually getting a little bit of help from Ryan Kelly coming in from his point position. Puck is fed around behind the net, back towards this near point. Ryan Hahn keeps that one in, gets it down low to Gallivan. Gallivan finds Schultz. Schultz in behind the net. He got it right to Gallivan, just couldn't quite handle that pass as it comes back to the point to Hahn now.
What do we got?
Puck is flipped over the protective netting and ends up cleanly into the spectators over there. Funny to see it actually being, it's actually to the left of the protective netting where it ends. So it ends up being thrown out of play, and now the faceoff looks like it's going to come out here in the neutral zone, as they're ruling that it was Ryan Hahn that just played that one over the boards and out of play. So 7:49 now left here in regulation. The Bengals running out of chances here. It's a 5-1 lead for the Bonnies.
Yeah, they're running out of chances, they're running out of time, and the Bonnies, again, they're just going to clamp down in the neutral zone in their own end and just waste time as much as they can, and that's going to help.
Bengals are going to take a penalty here in the offensive zone. Anton Rupert with that hit from the side, or hit from behind as it's being called here, as he took Mitchell Marsh into the boards. And this last penalty here for the Bengals might be enough to just about do it and put that final nail in the coffin. With a 5-1 lead, becomes that much more difficult for the Bengals to come back, having to kill this penalty off now.
Absolutely, and once again, the Bonnies very smart, just nothing but words. They don't take the bait. They don't go running after Anton Rupert, throwing punches or throwing cross checks. They know they've got this game in hand, and the only person who's going to beat St. Bonaventure now is St. Bonaventure at this point. I mean, they've done whatever they've wanted all game. They've been smart about it, and they deserve this lead right now, and now they get a chance to add to it, or at worst, kill some time.
Yeah, it might even be not enough time left in this game for them to make enough mistakes that will end up costing them. They have a power play here for the next 2 minutes, as we have 7.5 to go in regulation. Bonaventure with possession, setting it up here in the offensive zone.
Yeah, and on the topic of mistakes, while Bonaventure cycling, they made the mistake yesterday, so they're not going to make it again today, Aaron. It's just not going to happen. This team will not make the same mistake twice, I guarantee it.
Yeah, they play a very disciplined style of hockey. They don't do anything silly. They don't give other teams the golden opportunities. If you do get them to do it, it's a rarity. And as Sean said, that happened yesterday. I don't expect a disciplined, tight defensive playing team to make mistakes like that again here today. Bengals trying to kill off this power play. Pass comes right out in front. Unable to clear it out of the zone. Is fanning on that clearing attempt was Elliott Hunt. It was a stick. Another great save by Filipowicz, as that shot was labeled for the far side. Filipowicz getting the blocker on that one. Anton Rupert now trying to circle the net and create something, as he has it here along the near boards. Gets a pass down low where he's got Ryan Miller. Miller then down low as he's got Sardina. Sardina fights through a check, carries it out in front, takes a shot, and he puts it under the bar. The Bengals are on the board here in the third period. It's now a 5-2 score.
Well, good fight by the Bengals as well, not giving up, and it's Brett Sardina. No surprise there. Comes around, pops out from behind the net, and wires a beautiful shot to the top bar. Bengals aren't dead yet, but you got to think they need another one in the next 30 seconds to threaten or make this interesting.
3:41 is what the clock reads in terms of time left in regulation. Still a 3-goal lead for the Bonnies, as Brett Sardina has gotten his 22nd goal on the season, as he has been one of the most reliable offensive threats in the Bengals lineup from start to finish this year. No surprise to see him get a goal here in the championship game as well. Throwing a hit there on the far side as well, as the Bengals get it set up here in the offensive zone. Anton Rupert carrying it back towards the point, fires a shot in on goal, just barely goes wide of the net, as now it's going to be Sardina putting some pressure on down low, comes out to the point to Kelly, keeping it in, as it was Rappa trying to hack it past him. Now a loose puck in that circle, as the finally settled down as it's Rappa getting it forward into the center ice area, just making sure he gets it dumped in as we approach 3 minutes to go in regulation.
Bonaventure, they're sending guys in on the forecheck. They're going to force the Bengals to go 200 feet the rest of the way here. That's going to be a tall order. There are 3 guys in the offensive zone right now, wreaking havoc right now on this Buffalo attempted breakout, and that's just killing precious seconds for the Bengals, and then a turnover.
Yeah, another pass out into the neutral zone, and a Bonaventure player getting in the way of that one yet again. It's been kind of the theme of things tonight, whether or not it's a passing lane in the neutral zone or a shooting lane in the offensive zone. Bonaventure has been great defensively. They get another opportunity off it in transition. Sobko letting that shot go from the top of the circle. Glove save made by A.J. White, keeping this one a 5-2 game. Only 2:29 left, though. The Bengals are going to have to get another one here quickly if they have any chance. Bonaventure probably not going to let them do too much work without a lot of effort just to get it up ice.
Yeah, you can count on that. Their only chance right here is if they can just try like a set play. But look at how deep their defensemen are right now. They have defensemen backing off the center ice.
Gallivan getting that puck, getting it up ice to Elliott Hunt, just unable to handle that one at the Bonaventure blue line. Now a loose puck along the Buff State blue line, picked up by Gallivan as he gets spilled here in the neutral zone. And the Bonnies now sending it back through the neutral zone. Mike Guerrera has it, but he's unable to stick handle around his man there. And time continuing to tick away on the Bengals. 2:05 now remaining in regulation. As it's Michael Guerrero with the puck along his own blue line. Gets that puck up ice to Cholo Tempio. Now we start to watch and see if A.J. White comes out of his net. He's heading to the bench. The Bengals have the 6th attacker out there as they're down by 3. Getting that extra attacker out there with 1:50 to go in regulation. Puck goes out through the center ice area. Diving for it is Cholo Tempio. Sets it up for Ryan Hahn, who carries it into the offensive zone. Hahn with 1:40 to go in regulation, circling the net, gets it back to the point. Michael Guerrera has it now. There's a crowd of bodies in front, but another block by the Bonnies. Nathan Sobko getting the leg on that one, keeping that shot from getting in on goal. And then a pass to the empty point here, just too far for Sardina to run down. And now just 1:22 separating the Bonnies from a title.
And they're going to play great defense. I mean, they're just getting to the loose pucks now, too.
Bengals finding that loose in seconds without having to worry about the team that they're playing coming back against them.
No, I mean, I think we were at physically impossible a minute ago, but now it's literally impossible. I don't think there's any chain of events that can happen right now. So
Bengals net is still empty, but they only have 5 skaters out there. A.J. White's slow to get back off the bench and back into his crease. Eventually he's tapped on the shoulder by his coach.
And Hager's on the ice for some reason.
Hager just jumped on the ice, figuring that they needed an extra skater out there. And finally now a conversation between the officials, and they're going to assess a penalty on that one as well.
Yep.
Because, it ends up being on that delayed penalty rule. The penalty still is in force, so the Bengals now have too many men on the ice.
Oh, this is just ugly. Not a good end to this game at all for Buffalo State. It's unfortunate, but effort by Hahn, I don't know. Maybe it's the beer leaguer in me, but I would have let him go. But then again, I never played at this level, so my comment doesn't matter. Big hit there on Gallivan.
Garrett Harp getting his first shift of the game, laying a hit on the Bengals' best offensive player.
Good for him.
Yeah, good to see him making sure he gets out there and gets his nose dirty a little bit. Bengals sending it the length of the ice. This one's going to go for ice. No, it's waved off here for some reason. They're not wanting to blow those whistles anymore as we come into the last 35 seconds of regulation here as Sean puts down the headset to head down to ice level where he will be interviewing one of the winning players or coaches from St. Bonaventure as they're going to get to enjoy a title celebration here at the North Buffalo Ice Rink. They have come in and played excellent hockey here today. They were in command of this one pretty much from start to finish. They got the early goal less than a minute into it, followed it up with a second one, still in the early going of the first period, and they pretty much made that hold up throughout here as they have been solid defensively, solid in the neutral zone, and just really solid all throughout the game here. And that's why they have this 6-2 lead, and they're hearing it from their fans, from their bench. This is a very happy team, as you would expect to be the case after they pick up this thrilling victory in the championship. Bonnies converging on their netminder in celebration of their championship. It is a victory in the UNYCHL championship game after a battle that they had yesterday in the semifinal. They fell down by a score of 4-1 to Cortland in the semifinal yesterday, came all the way back, managed to take the lead, then they gave up that lead late, forcing overtime, Eventually, they win it in overtime on the Owen Hughes dramatic game winner yesterday. Today, they didn't need the same kind of drama as they were the better team from start to finish, and they came out of here with a exciting 6-2 victory from their perspective, and they were an excellent team throughout. The amount of shot blocks through that game, just too many to count. Really strong work, especially by the defensemen there for St. Bonaventure, as they continued to lay the body out, sacrifice to keep their goaltender protected. Certainly more than a little bit of hats off to the Bonaventure defenders, as they were excellent in protecting their netminder. They also played really well in the neutral zone, as they made sure they made it as difficult as possible for Buffalo State to move that puck up ice. They created a lot of turnovers in the neutral zone, a lot of turnovers in the Bengals zone, a lot of turnovers in their own zone as well. They were the better team today. They came to play, and they were absolutely ready for this third matchup of the season against the Bengals. And this time, they come out with the victory. They lost the 2 in regular season, but this is the one that matters the most, the one for the title, and it's going to be the Bonnies taking the trophy home today. As the celebration continues at ice level, Sean McHugh down there at ice level grabbing a St. Bonaventure player, and he's got David Stutz here to chat about this thrilling victory for the St. Bonaventure Bonnies, as they have come out with a 6-2 victory in the UNYCHL title game. We now head down to ice level, where Sean McHugh will have a conversation with the winning captain, the defenseman, David Stutz.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm here with Bonaventure captain David Stutz. David, you pulled it off, man. You guys again you guys got to tier 1. This is the only blemish on your record all season. How's it feel to not only get a championship, but also right the only 2 wrongs your team suffered all season?
I mean, through and through, it's been a great season. We had 2 tough losses to that team during the regular season, but I mean, it's just a testament to these great guys. We overcame adversity and beat Buff State, which is big for us, and we're ready for nationals. So it really comes down to everybody right here. Our coaches, Father David Blake, everybody had an effort in on this. So
you guys probably played some of the best defense any of us have ever seen, from the neutral zone all the way down in. What was your game plan to slow down this high-powered Buffalo State offense, who did put in 5 on you in both games? How did you slow them down? How did you limit the firepower from hurting you this time?
I mean, it's something we pride ourselves on all season, being lockdown defense. We had a great system in place. We're sticking to it. But, it really comes down to just outworking the other team and working hard. So that's really what it is. I mean, you got to have the heart to be able to win this championship. So that's about it, heart.
You heard a heart from David Stutz, captain of the UNYCHL Tier 1 champion St. Bonaventure Bonnies.
Sean McHugh chatting with David Stutz down at ice level, as the Bonnies are proudly accepting their trophy here, as a little bit of a delay there for our interview, allowing Stutz to come over and join his captains, and they will be meeting with Commissioner Marchese and accepting the trophy as the champions of the UNYCHL here in 2021-22, as they have defeated their nemesis, the Buffalo State Bengals, the only team to beat St. Bonaventure this year. Both of the Bonnies' losses this year were to the Bengals. They get vengeance in a big way here in the UNYCHL title game, coming out with the 6-2 victory, and they're the team that will hoist the trophy. And there it is, Connor O'Brien holding it over his head and celebrating a championship victory with his team. A well-earned and well-deserved championship from St. Bonaventure here, as they played an excellent game of hockey. They have been an excellent team from start to finish this season, and it's no surprise that they found themselves here in the championship game. And when it mattered, when all the chips were down here in this contest,
did not win. The team that played the best hockey won the championship this weekend. Bonaventure, usually what you have to worry about with an emotional back and forth, heart attack inducing game that they had against Cortland, maybe you got to worry about an emotional letdown or some kind of hangover or what have you. Not a chance. Bonaventure actually took negatives from that game, used that as motivation, and it was positive. I mean, they did not play the best defense that we're accustomed to seeing against Cortland. They put on a defensive masterpiece today. Goaltender Nick Filipowicz did not have his best game yesterday against Cortland. I would argue he might have had his best game of the season tonight. I mean, this is a very well-coached team. You cannot speak enough of that. I'm only going to say this once, Aaron. I'm not going to do it as a Bonaventure alum, being there when this team was originated, seeing how they did struggle being a brand new program, seeing where they are now, seeing them as champions. It's really great to see. It's a team that deserves to be there. It's a team it's very hard not to be happy for right now, seeing how well they work together, how they have 4 lines that work exceptionally hard, how they have defensemen that are willing to sacrifice body and soul to block shots and keep the puck clean, and a goaltender that gives you his all every night and is as steady a goaltender as we're going to see. This is a very deserving team. Not that there weren't other teams, but the team who wanted it the most took it today. They took it. Like the first minute of the game, they decided this was their game.
Hats off to the St. Bonaventure Bonnies, the 2021-2022 champions of the UNYCHL. Hats off to them, and my condolences to whoever has to face them in the preliminary rounds of the CHF Nationals in a couple of weeks coming up in Philadelphia. They are going to be one of the toughest outs in that tournament, especially coming in with a national rank right around 20. They are more of a top 8-5 team in my opinion. They've proven that here tonight in terms of how they stack up in this league. They'll get a chance to prove their worth again in Philadelphia coming up in a few weeks.
Yep, and you know what? It's a great time to be a Bonnie sports fan because you got the basketball team heading into March Madness, and now you've got a hockey team that is a league champion and is now going to take a run at a national championship. Great to see. And as for the Buffalo State Bengals, they're not done yet either. Familiar feeling here, just didn't have their best game for them in the championship. That's got to sting. It does sting. It has to, but we'll see them as well. They're not a team to be slept on either.
This is a repeat of another story that we also saw from 2 years ago. As Sean, you mentioned there that this is going to sting for the Bengals. They had that exact same feeling in the UNYCHL Tier 2 championship game 2 years ago. They lost a very similar type of game to MCCC in which they were handled throughout that game. I think it was the exact same score. That provided the right kind of motivation for Buffalo State to get themselves ready for nationals. They pulled off one of the bigger wins in program history at the CHF Fed Cup in Philadelphia. I got to imagine that this will be a hungry bunch, eager to get another chance to face another team in competition.
Absolutely. They do not want their season to end this way, and it's really good that it doesn't because this has been a great season by these Buffalo State Bengals. It would not be good to end this way, but again, you tip your cap. Aaron, the bottom line is this. The better team won the championship today.
Yep.
That's the bottom line.
Can't say it enough. This is a very well-deserved championship, and it is the St. Bonaventure Bonnies coming away out of here from the North Buffalo Ice Rink with the trophy. They are the champions of the UNYCHL for 2021-2022. We're just going to soak in a little bit more of the action here on the ice, but we will sign off as we do so. And thank you so much for joining us here for our broadcast today, our broadcast earlier on today, as well as all of our other games throughout this season. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us here on the UNYCHL YouTube channel. Certainly hope to have a full schedule of these types of games next season. And I imagine that the league will just continue to grow and become better, and a chance for the league to continue to prove itself on the national stage. Not far off, these Bonnies, as well as the Bengals and 3 other teams from the UNYCHL, will be playing in Philadelphia at the CHF Federation Cup. We certainly look forward to that. As for now, though, a little bit more time with the winners on the ice as the UNYCHL champion St. Bonaventure Bonnies celebrate their title. Once again, our final score here from the North Buffalo Ice Rink. It is St. Bonaventure 6, Buffalo State 2. The Bonnies take the UNYCHL title for 2021-22. And thank you so much for joining us for the broadcast. For camera operator Jeff Jazarowski, color commentator Sean McHugh, I'm Aaron Elpern. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy our broadcast this afternoon.